Shine bright up all night. We're never slowing down. Fall in love, drunk mistakes. We're bound to hit the ground. Gotta keep this feeling, keep on breathing, even if we're slipping away. So I close my eyes and lose myself now. Do it like it's only today. We gotta party for a lifetime. No, we ain't stopping for the sunrise. No, we don't care about the bad nights. And for a second I can feel like this. Make me feel like this. We gotta party for a lifetime. No, we ain't stopping for the sunrise. No, we don't care about the bad nights. And for a second I can feel like this. Make me feel like this. Young blood made of gold. A mind you can't control. Running wild, can't calm down. My head is in the clouds. Gotta keep this feeling, keep on breathing, even if we're slipping away. So I close my eyes and lose myself now. Do it like it's only today. We gotta party for a lifetime. No, we ain't stopping for the sunrise. No, we don't care about the bad nights. And for a second I can feel like this. Make me feel like this. We gotta party for a lifetime. No, we ain't stopping for the sunrise. No, we don't care about the bad nights. And for a second I can feel like this. Make me feel like this.
Please hit that thumbs up button while you guys are coming in. Thank you. Hope you're all having a good day. Well, hello everyone. How's it going? Hope you are well. Today is April 9th, 2024. It is 5:25 p.m. on the East Coast of the United States of America. How is everyone in chat? Good to see you all, my beautiful people. Beautiful people. I think Guidance might come up here in a minute. Let me check my message. I think she might. Okay. Yeah, she'll be up here in a minute. Pandora's box is opened. I really believe on this case because there is a lot going on in the last few hours. Nancy Grace dropped an interview. Well, she dropped some stuff, and we're going to go over that shortly. And also, Sweetie Pilo, beautiful channel, who she dropped some stuff too, and we are going to talk about it. Wow. Like they say in the UK, gobsmacked. Absolutely gobsmacked. No comments have been deleted. Someone saying their comment was deleted or something? I don't know. Don't know. Uh, yeah, guidance will be coming up here shortly. Now, Nancy, in my opinion, seems like she is. I think things have opened up. We'll just say that. I think things have opened up and she's expressing her opinion more on this, talking about why Chris Proudfoot is not doing a lie detector test. And guys, we are going to show you the things that Chris Proudfoot has said that we know is not truthful. Absolutely no, it's not truthful. And it makes you wonder, people who have nothing to hide nothing, right? In true crime, especially whenever your child, your stepchild is missing. Chris just didn't move into the home 6 weeks ago, right? Right before Sebastian went missing. He has been in Sebastian's life for half of this child's life. Half of his life. And that makes me honestly really sad. Really, really sad because um hold on 1 second. Because half of his life has probably been hell. Half of his life. In my opinion, he humiliated him wearing diapers. Can you imagine being a 15-year-old boy wanting to fit in? You're trying to fit in with one of your friends, your peers at school, but you have this almost like a secret that you're wearing a diaper. Seth said he didn't need it at his house. So the question remains, why did he need it at his mother's house? Was it just for to humiliate him? Possibly. Was it for other reasons, which we're going to get into because Nancy brings it up here shortly. And so does Sweetie Pilo, who she says she has a good source. Darcy, thank you so much for gifting one membership, my dear. That's so very generous of you. If you receive that membership, please thank our sweet, sweet Darcy. She's so good to us. It can be trauma. It certainly can. It can be, stress. It can be something we don't even want to think about. Too much, right? It's too much. All right. So for this, credit goes to the queen of true crime, Nancy Grace. And batten down the hatches, it's going to get messy.
The bio dad and grandparents of missing autistic boy Sebastian Rogers hold.
Link is in the description, by the way, for those of you that want to watch the me not commentating on it, make sure you go over there to Nancy Grace's and watch it without my commentary as well. Thank you so much, Jessica. My heart aches for Sebastian. He didn't ask to be born, and he was treated so poorly. Thank you, Jessica. Um, I believe if Seth knew about it, this wouldn't have happened. But it was just not. I feel like Chris wanted him out sooner than later, right? Why is the stepfather talking to Seth? Why is he talking to Seth? That should be between Katie and Seth, not Chris and Seth, if he wanted to go live there. It's not up to him. Reality wins. Thank you so much for 1 month. May I call in later to go over Chris's statement on his job? Yes, you may. We are going to do call-ins here in a little bit. Absolutely. We sure are.
A vigil where everyone vows that Sebastian will be brought home safe and sound. Will he? I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. Thank you for being with us here at Crime Stories as we continue joining in the search for Sebastian. First of all, take a listen to this. Have the two of you taken a polygraph?
I have.
I have not.
Would you be willing to?
I've offered and volunteered on many occasions to take a polygraph, and I was told directly by law enforcement because of my whereabouts, I did not need one.
So if that's true, Chris, if that's true, then why are you saying TBI is going to give you one now? If that's true, then why are you saying TBI is going to give you one now? And then later, you'll do it with Nancy? It doesn't pass the smell test. Doesn't pass the smell test.
I understand. Ms. Proudfoot, did you pass your polygraph?
I did.
That's not exactly what has been stated before by Sebastian Rogers' stepfather, Mr. Proudfoot. Listen. And Mr. Proudfoot, you have volunteered to take a poly?
Yes, ma'am.
If I were to set up a poly for you, would you take it?
Name the place and time, ma'am. I'll be there.
Well, Nancy certainly named the place and time. And guess what? Still nothing to this day. Nancy's going to make a great point in this live. You would think, just like we say with Don and Candace, you would want to be cleared as soon as possible. We are at 6 weeks now. Still no Sebastian. That's not good statistically. It's not good statistically. We got to be real with it.
Have you heard of this brand new product that instantly cleans toilets without any scrubbing? Take any dirty toilet.
I forgot to
Joining me in all-star panel to make sense of
do it
what
on my
we're hearing
non-commercial only.
right now. But first to Dave Mack, crimeonline.com, investigative reporter. Dave Mack, isn't it true that crimeonline.com did set up a
We're going to go over
polygraph?
that.
Absolutely true.
And what happened?
Chris Proudfoot told us that he could not take it now. He wanted to, but he can't because the TBI told him not to.
TBI will never They are never going to advise you on what you should or should not do. They are never going to do that. Ever. Why would they do that? They're not an attorney. They're not going to tell you what you can and can't do. You're not cleared, even. They're not going to tell you what you can say and what you can and can't do. It's ridiculous.
It's my understanding to Cheryl McCollum joining us. Cheryl McCollum, founder and director of the Cold Case Research Institute, forensics expert, and host of Zone 7 podcast. Cheryl, it's my understanding that specifically Sebastian's stepfather said he could no longer do interviews, including with us, because he had been instructed so by the TBI. And Jackie, correct me if I'm wrong, that
Can't do interviews because he's been instructed by the TBI. Baloney. Absolute baloney. He knows, in my opinion, that he is digging himself deeper and deeper by opening their mouths. Bonjour, Madame. Oui, oui.
Hello. You look.
Hi. Thank you. Could the compare other trash pickup videos from the one law enforcement put out, see if lights are the same? Sure. Now, the only thing about that with SL is, to be fair, I don't know if there's trees in front of there. I don't know if there's something blocking it. Now, I'll be honest with you. I am very extraordinarily conflicted about that trash truck. I want to be very honest with you. I'm very conflicted because Seth said that without a doubt, that is a trash truck. Now, the problem is, in my opinion, I've never seen a trash truck look like that and go in different directions. And why won't the sheriff just say it's a trash truck? Why won't he just say it's a trash truck? It could be something later. Well, you can still say it's a trash truck if it's a damn trash truck. Right? Am I wrong?
Unless Seth has found out that's a reason that it needs to be, it wasn't supposed to be public, and that's just the logical way to say it and try to get eyes off of it, but it put more eyes on it.
Nick Barris, the first question he says that was asked to him is, where did you get that video? Which is interesting to me. That's interesting to me. Okay. If it doesn't matter, if this video does not matter, why does, why does it matter where he got it from?
Well, also think about this, Justin, as us both being parents. Whenever we ask our kids, where'd you get that from? Is there a reason?
There's always a reason. I mean, I think, right?
Right, but there's always a reason of why you're asking, where did you get that from? It's almost the same sense of, you're not supposed to have that. Where did you get that from? If you get what I'm saying.
Yes. So, Pink Butterfly. Seth describes it. I did watch Pascal. Shout out to Pascal, by the way. Seth describes it more on Pascal late night, and that someone took film of it and recorded only half screen. I think it was 1/4 of a screen. But see, to me, that even raises more questions. Why is it only 1/4 of a screen? Why is it only 1/4 of a screen? It's a 15-minute video. Where's the other 3/4? Why
And
can't
also,
we put it
sorry.
out that and see? Why can't we see the other 3/4? Why can't we see the full video if it's nothing?
He also said the size is like a 5x7 compared to like a major TV. So I don't even think what like the garbage truck lights will even be that far apart on the camera either.
I don't know.
When they say it's the headlights, anyways.
I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. But yeah,
They
we'll
did
take a
not
look at
want
that.
any of his interviews to interfere with the investigation. And that even though he had agreed to do our polygraph, he now says that the TBI is going to set up their own polygraph and he can't take our polygraph until after that. And once he does that, then, quote, we'll take it from there.
Oh,
What do you make of it?
You know, you and I always go back to Mark class. If you want to make sure that the law enforcement has everything they need to get rid of looking at you, you can do that. He can set up a private polygraph through an attorney. He can take yours. He can demand that TBI give him one so that they can stop focusing on him and this polygraph business and move on.
exactly. I'm going to tell you something. Like I've said in in the Summer Wells case with Don and Candace, which we're almost at 3 years. In a couple months, we'll be at 3 years. Hey, Miss Kirby. I would be demanding someone clear me. Demanded. Like, and to be honest with you, I would be like, listen, I don't really give a shit what, we'll figure this out later. I'm worried about my kid right now. But, the first thing that they do is pull back.
I don't understand that.
Mm. It's quite strange.
And find out where Sebastian is at. Period.
I mean, Cheryl McCollum, you and I can go right now and pay for a polygraph. They'd be happy to take our money. Hey, just put it on a credit card and take a polygraph.
TBI would be happy to accept those results. A polygraph is a polygraph. And the examiner, that's who you're relying on. So you've got somebody that's going to be willing to testify and put their reputation on the line. Again, he could make this happen today if he wanted to.
Let's go straight out to Joseph Scott Morgan, professor of forensics, Jacksonville State University, author of Blood Beneath My Feet on Amazon, and star of a hit series, Body Bags with Joe Scott Morgan. Joe Scott, thank you for being with us. You know what? This is like static in my ears because I know tick tock, tick tock. As long as we focus on the stepfather and the mother, Mr. and Mrs. Proudfoot, I'm losing time. If by some stretch of the imagination, Sebastian is still alive, if he's alive, he won't be much longer. What do the stats show? What is your opinion? I need it, and I need it now, Joe Scott.
Yeah,
You're muted, sir.
That was my first mute. Thank you. Look at Nancy's headlines here. Missing autistic boy Sebastian, MOLESTED ? Now, this is not the only thing that has came out about it today. Yeah, we're gonna look at Sweetie Pilos here in a minute, because It's very interesting what she has there. Very interesting.
The biggest thing that we're looking at is this idea of time. We're talking about a young man that went missing back in February, Nancy, late February. And as we move down that timeline, you know, the odds are.
Oh, by the way, in this picture right here, Sebastian has his shoes on. He's not by the door there. He does have
And
though.
also caught me, and I'll point it out in Sweetie Pilo's.
Okay. Okay.
Something I pointed out the other night.
And as we move down that timeline, you know, the odds are stacked against him. I think one of the most important pieces that's kind of arisen out of this, other than all of the comments that have been made to this point relative to polygraphs and those sorts of things, are those eyeglasses. And I love the shot the producers put up of him standing in front of that rack of eyeglasses, because that's going to tell the tale. I think if they can specifically tie those to him, that's very important. They can take that script off of those glasses, determine if they are his.
I don't think they're
And-
his glasses, Joe Scott. I don't
Well,
think they're his glasses.
Yeah, they're not.
At this point in time, you have to work with what you have. If they're not his, then that points us down a different road, doesn't it? And sometimes,
Okay, let's go with they're not his glasses. And I'll tell you why I'm saying that, Joe Scott. I was thrilled. I mean, you know, you may want to jump in on this, Cheryl.
And just so you know, they're not Sebastian's glasses. We do know that they are not at all Sebastian's glasses.
Remember, we're not having high tea at Windsor Castle.
I love
But
that she says that.
It's a sad day when you're excited, when you're thrilled, you think you find a missing boy's glasses. Why was I thrilled? Because it was a clue for a moment, and then the TBI confirmed they're not his glasses. So I see where you're going, Joe Scott, but it's a sad day when we're all thrilled to find a pair of beat up glasses on the side of the road.
Today, Jasmine.
But I was. So where does that leave me, Joe Scott? As we're all like, take a poly, take a poly. Why won't he take a poly? What really happened? Was he at work? Was he not at work? While we're all gnashing our teeth and
Yeah, we're all, I mean, across the globe at this point, all gnashing our teeth, like Nancy said. We're all looking at parent and a step parent who is not making sense of this. And you would think the questions that we have, he would take the polygraph. Why not? Clear it up. Anything, guidance?
switching our tails trying to figure out about Mr. Proudfoot. If this kid, this child is out there with his autism kicking in, giving him problems, what's going to happen? The likely scenario, Joe Scott, as we're spinning our wheels on Proudfoot.
Yes, question. Young Vintage says, question. What would Sebastian say or do if found? Question mark. He knows something and Chris and Katie doesn't need him to tell. Only reason why they don't look, they know where he is. And I agree with you in that, you know, you don't look for something that's not lost, right? You don't waste your energy, so to speak, on something that is not lost. I've said this again for Don and Candace and other suspects related to their missing children who don't search for their child. Well, you're not going to go out and roam in the woods all day just to burn calories when you know for a fact, in my opinion, at least, that you know where your kid is. Why are you going to waste the energy? You're not going to burn the calories because you know, in my opinion, it's a lost cause. Otherwise, you would be out like Seth, busting your ass. just the way it is. There's nothing else that I can think of why you wouldn't do that. Why you wouldn't do that. Or at least be putting up flyers instead
Be
of
not taking them
allegedly taking
down.
them down. Yeah, allegedly. Yeah. So at least doing interviews, right? At least doing something, at least staying inside your home that's not 3.5 hours away. How about that? Let's talk about that, right? You're not even in your home where your child was last living. That's the only home he knows other than his father's. And, I mean, if he got lost by himself, which at this point, I mean, let's just be honest, guys. He would have to have someone helping him if he is alive. That's, I mean, we're at 6 weeks.
Now, I'm gonna sidetrack a little bit if that's okay.
Sure.
This picture specifically, that looks like a
Mhm.
chest plate on there.
Mhm.
For the epectus. No?
Mhm. Mhm.
They never brought that up either.
Mhm. What was can someone remember what they said that brace was? Did they say something? Does anyone know what that brace was for? But I'm just saying, if he's like wearing a brace, can he physically go out in the woods and do all of this? I say no, in my opinion. I don't know. I was talking to was talking. She was talking about her autistic son, and she said my son would trip over something that's, an inch tall, let alone being able to go out in the woods and do something like this. But yeah, I mean, if it's scoliosis or anything, I mean, this child has, you know, a pocket of fluid in the side of his head, but you don't even go check. You don't even go check if you hear a thud.
Yeah, if this is, we're talking about Hendersonville, Tennessee, Nancy, which is 10 miles outside of Nashville, but really quickly up there, that area becomes very rural. And so if he has wandered off or been taken off in any number of directions, his ability or survivability is greatly diminished here. And what the police are doing right now is, if you think about the last known location of him, that's the center of the target. And they're working from concentrically to eccentrically. They're moving out in these big circles, but it's such a broad, densely wooded area. This is a Herculean task, to say the least. I think that some of the answers are going to rest in the idea that whoever had control over him, his comings and goings. We're talking about a kid that has been diagnosed with autism. Whoever had control over his comings and goings, their electronics need to be tracked, Nancy. Those ideas of where did they go at those times when he was last seen alive? And that's going to be one of the threads that you're going to want to pull in this investigation.
Cheryl McCollum, host of Zone 7, is a forensic expert. As you know, Joe Scott Morgan, death investigator. Cheryl, you've had quite a lot to say online.
Can't go? Do this to clear out stuck poop fast. On
Okay,
June
thanks.
17th
I
in
appreciate that.
2019.
What about now? Cat got your tongue? Because I don't like that. You're
Sorry.
pretty bold
No.
when nobody's questioning you. But what about
No,
now? I want to hear your analysis.
These commercials.
Here's my problem. They're statements. You've got inconsistencies. As soon as somebody changes their story at all, they should become the focus. Period. Mom
Bingo.
has said,
Bingo. Somebody listen to this.
here's my problem. their statements. You've got inconsistencies. As soon as somebody changes their story at all, they should become the focus, period.
Absolutely. Because the story should never change. It should never, ever change. It's different adding, or, you know, adding maybe to the story a little bit, but it should never be something completely different.
For here's an example. Like, oh yeah, he had a colossal popcorn at BJ's. And totally ixnay a different scenario.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep.
It's little things that you remember, but not completely change the timeline or the events or what happened or leave them out specifically.
Right. Yes. Well, and the story just does not make sense. It doesn't make sense that you stay on the phone with your husband for 3 hours while your son is in his room all evening, and you tell him to go to bed. He goes right to bed at 9 o'clock. Good night, mommy. Good night, puppies, which I think Nancy will talk about here. And you hear a thud an hour later, and you don't check on your autistic son who has a pocket of fluid in his skull, who has had many seizures in the past, no bath that we are aware of.
No, she just mentioned took out the garbage, played in his room, and then went to
That's
bed.
it. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I could already tell you 30 things that my kids have done in the past hour that I've been home.
Yes. And Beth Ann said, then there's a thud. Well, in the beginning, she just said she heard him playing around in his room. And then there's a thud. Oh, well, did you go check on him? No. Well, that doesn't make sense because all parents go check on their kids, whether or not you hear a thud or not. But if you hear a thud, what's the first thing you do when you hear something in your house? You go check. You go check. What's the first thing you do if you hear a glass break in your house, right? Or you hear someone you think sounds like they fell? You run to the sound. You didn't say, "Are you okay?" Even? Not even, "Are you okay?" Huh. Doesn't make sense. Stories have to, in the mundane that we do every single day, all of us. You're in your house. This should be a normal, everyday, mundane thing, right? You hear something, you check on it.
But it's also a natural parent response.
Yes.
And that never leaves you no matter how old they get.
Never leaves you. Yes. It is instinctual. It's instinctual.
Mom has said different things. Now you've got a stepdad that looks like he's co-signing with everything that she says, but he allegedly wasn't there. So how can he agree with anything that she's saying? You've got mom saying she heard a thud. I don't like that word. That sounds like a body hitting the floor. When people use the word thud, that's not sounded like he hit the wall, sounded like something.
No, it's
dropped.
never a good thing. It's usually preceded by an adjective, sickening, a sickening thud.
Right. And Nancy, you've got other things. You've got mom saying he went to the end of the driveway to put out the trash. And then you've got law enforcement searching a landfill. They're searching lakes. They're searching ponds. If you're watching and paying attention to law enforcement, it does not seem to me that they are looking to recover a child alive.
And that's hard to hear. Very hard to hear. Right? Thank you, Tracy. And, you know, do they, if Sebastian went out on his own, right? Went out on his own, why are they checking a landfill in Kentucky, a different state, very early on in this investigation? Why are they
You
checking
know,
a landfill?
you know what came to my mind when that the dispatch call was released yesterday of the first 11 hours?
What? Oops, sorry.
That was my first thought. When the drones were going over, they specifically asked to go over the dumpster.
Mm-hmm.
My mind went straight to the landfill.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And that's
Yeah.
sad when you think about it in the full circle.
It is. HTC, no one runs away to a landfill, especially a 15-year-old special needs child. He doesn't run to a different state. Right?
And
He doesn't have. Yeah, movie star. We're going to hold on. Sure, movie star. Yes. Yep. I'll be taking calls later in this live, and you can also call me privately if you need. Oh yeah, JD, we're going to.
They are searching for remains. You and I both know, and Joe Scott knows, when a child goes missing, the first 3 hours are critical. We're at 6 weeks. 6 weeks that this child has not been seen or heard from.
Okay,
6
hold on.
weeks
Why are you saying, Cheryl McCollum, that you believe they don't expect to find Sebastian alive based on their actions? I'm talking about LA law enforcement.
They're searches. They're searching landfills, lakes, ponds. That is not indicative of somebody that is alive. And again, you've got a child that has gone 6 weeks without his medicine, 6 weeks without food that we know of. He didn't have a source, no shoes. And mama herself says, oh, a flashlight's missing. Again, that's such an odd thing for her to know is missing.
Yes. How do you know that he's missing a keychain flashlight? She says, just because I can't find it around. Well, that doesn't mean he has it. And I thought it was very suspicious, in my opinion. Let's go back to that trash truck scenario. And we thought, Nick Barris, he said, well, two people with flashlights. It's very interesting how, he's missing a flashlight, and then there's these lights going on. I don't know. I don't feel right about that. I don't. I want to feel okay about that, but I don't. I just don't. I can't make you can't make yourself feel any certain way. The video, we will not. Trash truck. If the video timestamp was stuck at 3:11, the video we see is not coming from inside the truck. It is looking at the truck and backyard from a different angle. This shuck don't jive. Yeah, the only thing I can think of is maybe they're saying it's a trash truck because they don't want us to know what it is. As the public. That's the only
That's the
thing.
only conclusion. Exactly. Same.
Mhm. Hey, Kate William, thank you so much. You have to watch The First 11 Hours by Jessica Danielle. Oh, Jessica Danielle. Okay, thank you. I'll note that.
You know
You know who
which one
that
it
is?
is. It's the one you sent me yesterday.
I still
Want
don't
me to
remember.
send it back to you? I'll send it.
That'd be good.
I'll send it back.
I see so much, guys. I'm
until they show her video that looks like a flashlight. And then the stat dad says, well, we were sure hoping it was, but we're sad to report it wasn't a flashlight. Well, if you've got 2 flashlights out there, why are you glad that it's not that? That to me would signify that somebody was out there in the wee hours of the morning with 2 flashlights, meaning 2 separate people.
Exactly. You would really, want to know. I mean, which is worse? I don't know. Is it worse that he could possibly be with another person, like 2 flashlights being out there? Chris said it's sorry to report that it's not. Or would you want him to be alone? It could go either way. And it could be headlamps, of the trash truck people. But if that's true, where's the truck? That's what I don't get. The truck's going to light up, right?
Missing the whole truck.
Right. And we're only seeing a fourth of the screen, though.
Then that part would be extremely lit up because a trash truck is lit up. And from what I understand, the ordinances sound like they're almost the same as the construction ordinances, where trash doesn't start until around 7, just as construction work.
Well, so I've talked to locals and they said it is true that trash trucks will come there as early as 5 in the morning, but never earlier. My trash runs like at 7:30 in the morning. Allie, thank you so much. In the interview with Smiley, Chris slips when he is talking about CPS and says, "in my case," yes, he does, about the belt. The 3 stories put together, his words, I think, was about Katie. Yeah. Yeah, he wanted to blend and mix all of it together. Did the mother send out a specific time? That's why she's saying he's been took and it is set up, in my opinion. No, there is no specific time. Chris has told Nina that Sebastian went missing anywhere from 12:30 to 6 a.m. Now, I personally don't believe that. I think something happened before bed.
I still agree on, did he make it home?
Well, I mean, yeah. Did he make it home?
I keep teetering.
The thing is, there's nothing to suggest that he didn't make it home. So that's why I say that he made it home, but I understand he may have not made it home. But there's nothing to suggest really either way. Shelly, thank you so much for your support. I appreciate you, my dear. It's very kind of you.
Yes, Canadian cookie.
If the flashlight video was aimed towards the commons area, how could a trash truck be in someone's backyard? I don't know.
I would like to look at that on a map because I thought about that before. Because it looks like there's a house behind them. Did they roll it to the road? Or is there a trash truck coming between the 2 rows of houses?
Yeah. It's the front street, which would be their street, I believe.
It's the back facing the front.
Yeah.
The night your child went missing. I mean, it's just odd.
What
They
do you
claim they-
make of a 3-hour conversation held between Mrs. Proudfoot and Mr. Proudfoot the night Sebastian disappears?
The 3-hour phone call bothers me because, again, that's a long time to be on the phone. And, you're hearing your son supposedly, he's answering you supposedly during that time, but you don't go check on him at all. Did somebody leave their phone just on while they went and did something else? I don't know. But I agree with Joe Scott. The electronics are going to tell the story. When his mama.
Hold on, I gotta address this. Seth Rogers said TBI showed him the whole video. Yes, I said that. The time was stuck frozen. I know that. Time was messed up. I know that. That's what Seth said. I know that. So the problem that I'm having is not what Seth is saying. It's the secrecy around the sheriff or whoever the guy is. I guess it's the sheriff, or not the chief rather. He says that Nick Barris said, well, if it doesn't have any, he said, Nick asked him, does it have anything to do with this case? And the chief said, no, not at this point. And Nick asked him again, well, then what is it? He said, I can't tell you what it is. Why can't you just say it's a trash truck? That's all I'm asking. Why can't you say it's a trash truck? I'm cutting in and out, kind of muffled. Am I muffled? I don't think it's me, my dear. Sorry.
You sound good.
The phone call has always been sus to me. Yeah, nobody talks 3 hours. Nobody talks 3 hours. Let's get real.
I can't do that.
No.
Like, we both have the same reaction. Can we talk to our husband for 3 hours? Put a 1 in the chat if you can talk to your husband for 3 hours.
Maybe a year. Maybe a year.
-1? Like, in honeymoon stage, yeah. No, I get enough of him at home.
At what, 3 hours every night? No. See, the problem is I would want, you want to see their phone records. Is this something that they do normal? Because the TBI and all of them, they're going to say, oh, okay, well, yeah, they do talk to each other at this time on a regular basis or every night. Or, oh, they've never talked this long at all, for 3 hours at any time. Right. So, just have to see.
I first entertained the idea that somebody had him. What did she base that on? His phone's not missing. He didn't take shoes, didn't take clothes, didn't take money. Nothing on his cell phone, nothing on his computer says that he's been talking to anybody. I mean, she's entertaining something that we have no facts for.
Well,
We
I'm
have no
concerned
evidence.
about and you're right. Whenever I hear inconsistent statements, as I have discussed many, many times in front of juries, it's one thing to add or embellish your original statement because maybe you weren't asked the right questions first time around. Maybe you remembered something in addition, triggered by questions. But when you change your story, that's a problem. To Joe Scott Morgan joining us, professor at Jacksonville State University. Joe Scott, let's look at where the searches are being conducted.
Yeah.
We know the law enforcement search has been scaled back. I want to hear since you are a death investigator, we all three have been on many, many searches for missing people and who we believe to be dead. I want to hear your analysis. What can we glean from looking at what law enforcement is doing?
Back to Cheryl's point about landfills and ponds. Ponds, or water, bodies of water. You can think that, well, you have people that can.
Do you know what happens when you let cabbage sit for a month in a jar of salt?
I
Do you know
care.
Just wander into these locations, okay? Particularly somebody that might be in a compromised state, like this young man, from a mental and a physical status at this point in time. But when you start to talk about landfills, Nancy, this is a rather dark thing. I've been to landfills multiple times conducting death investigations. And those are locations where we're talking about the discarding of remains. Now, here's another interesting point. The fact that the landfill is all the way up
You
in
mean he
Kentucky.
didn't just walk into a landfill and fall over?
No, and certainly not.
Look at this. Any way you go, there's houses. North, east, south, or west, you're going to run into something. Allie, thank you so much. Do we know if searched the large wooded area behind Yogi Bear campgrounds? I don't. I don't know anything about that guidance. Do you? I haven't heard anything about them searching. They know hopefully more than we do. But again, I said yesterday, if nothing comes out in the next 10 days now, in my opinion, that we're going to be at close to 8 weeks then. If there's not a suspect named, someone cleared, they found an article of clothing, something breaks, or he's not found, in my opinion, at the 8-week mark, if they haven't got any of that we're aware of, they're stumped, in my opinion, on something. What? I don't know. But, we don't want this to be another Summer Wells. At all.
No.
Yeah, bedwetting from Trump. We're going to talk about that in depth here in just a little bit. GSP, for sure. All those homes are upscale. I'm sure many people had security cameras. Oh, well, wait. Nancy's going to drop something about that here in a minute. And
so does Sweetie Pilo.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Maybe that's what I'm thinking. Maybe it's Sweetie Pilo. Maybe it's
both of them drop a lot of back and forth. So
okay. And which we caught Chris the other day here whenever he was saying, oh, the cameras would have picked that up. What do you mean the cameras would have picked that up? You said you didn't have cameras. And then here in a little bit, you're going to hear Chris say in one of the very first interviews, do you have cameras at your house, Chris? Oh, we can't discuss that based upon the case. You can't say whether you had cameras or not? Why the hell can't you say you had cameras or not? Is that against HIPAA too? It has nothing to do. You had cameras? Great. So you actually seen him walking out by himself. Oh, I mean, why not? Why can't you say you have cameras? In my opinion, there's no way in God's green earth that someone who works for a security camera person, company that does not have cameras and security system in her $600,000 house. Doesn't make sense. Nice, Marie. Thank you so much, my dear. I think the flashlights is Katie and Chris's going over to the neighbor's house to jam the recording because they forgot about the neighbor's cameras after they disabled theirs in their house. Um, I mean, I think they may have wanted to stay away from cameras, but you can't hide from everything. I don't know how you would jam this stuff. To be honest. I don't think that's
Now, then again, think about when I used to work for ADT.
Mhm.
You know the blind spots
Yes.
and how to case a house.
Yeah, you're
It's part of
trained
the
to do
job.
that. Yeah. You got to think like the criminal.
Yep. And that's how you make your sale.
Yep. Jane, thank you so much for becoming a member. You are now a Pearl, my love. Welcome to the family. We appreciate your support. And she knows about all of that. And to me, I just see I don't see them without cameras. And I think Chris was constantly probably always looking on those cameras from his mobile device.
You can control them too from your mobile device.
hmm
And also, I think it's going to be covered here soon, is they even caught him eating snacks, right?
Yes. Kind of meaning
Those
snacks. Yes.
snacks.
Snacks. Mods, could you drop the membership link? Miss Me Marie would like the membership link.
For
Thank you, Miss
Clutch
Marie.
or Justin for all?
Justin for All is not. It's not up until May 28th, so it just
Sorry,
clutched
that's
right
right.
now.
I've got the link then,
Not in
sir.
Kentucky. This is specifically targeted. Now, from my understanding is that landfill is used to serve this particular area. And landfills are very complex environments. They're gridded off. Essentially, they know where they're going to do dumpings. It's not like they randomly go into these locations and just back the truck up. They go to specific locations. But with landfills, they're highly complex. They're layered, and so as you begin to stack items in there, they then run over them with this heavy equipment, and it makes the going very, very tough. As a matter of fact, anything that gets in there begins to degrade and decompose very quickly. That's the purpose of it. And so that is not a good sign, Nancy. And the fact that they are searching a landfill
Not a good
is
sign.
rather ominous to me.
Something happened the day before they searched the landfill. What was it? I can't. Do you remember what it was, Guidance?
What was your question about the landfill?
The day before, something happened in this investigation, and the very next day they went and searched that landfill.
They just halted searches. I remember that. They just stopped what they were doing, and they weren't supposed to be known that they were headed to the landfill, but they were found out.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a secret operation. That was
Yeah, they just said they were going to fall back a little. And then all of a sudden we found out that they were there because they were falling back.
Hey, Heidi. In first interview, they state if he opened the doors, it would be very noisy. Would that be the security system beeping?
Even the windows are tagged.
Interesting, yes. Perhaps. Very interesting. Yes, they did get a call from the garbage, but it was that may have been it, but it was something the day before.
I think that's when they announced they were going to fall back their search.
Don't remember.
I'm pretty sure.
Nancy, I want to
To
jump in
Dave
here real
Mack,
quick. I don't wanna be
crimeonline.
rude.
No,
but-
I was just coming to you because I wanted to talk to you,
Sorry.
Dave Mack, on two issues and whatever else you want to interject.
Right.
Please, I need everybody's
Right.
thoughts. One, I want to.
And GS P says, and the dog never barked. Well, thinking about that, I would think the dogs would absolutely bark because they're right there. They can see in the living room. Sebastian, going out. Yeah, I think they would bark over,
Can you
anything.
do me a quick favor?
Sure.
During the next episode, can you check
Uh-huh.
your Facebook, please?
Yeah, sure. Darzilla, thank you so much. 1 month, my love. Do you know there is a new police chief in Hendersonville? The chief retired April 1st. I wonder if that makes a difference how this is being handled. I did not know that, Darzilla. That is very interesting. Very interesting. Huh. Well, he certainly has his hands full. Certainly has his hands full, right? So, this is going to make him or
To
break him.
get from you any previous inconsistent statements as correctly stated by Cheryl McCollum, and 2, allegations that Sebastian, this autistic boy, was molested have
Sorry.
emerged. Let's start with inconsistent statements very quickly.
From the very beginning, Nancy, Chris Proudfoot made statements in interviews online claiming he actually said somebody asked the question, was a polygraph taken and has it been passed? Yes, I didn't specify who or when, but what I can tell you, everything has been vetted completely. Polygraphs have come back as passed. So I'm confused as in why.
I want to show y'all this, what was just sent to me. Someone wrote this in the Facebook group. Find Sebastian Rogers, anonymous member. The detectives was searching inside and outside the Proudfoot's home. What's OP mean? Late Sunday night into Monday morning, they visited the neighbor's house to see if the camera captured their movements around the front yard, trying to see if the morning of Sebastian's disappearance could have been captured. It was about 9 police/detectives there.
I'm getting ready to send you the actual post.
Okay. Yeah, so they're testing out to see if that works. 1 hour ago is what this screenshot says, at least. Let me make sure. Okay, there we go. Yes, this was 1 hour ago. Here, I'll show you the post here. Right here. The detectives were searching inside and outside the Proudfoot's home. Late Sunday night into Monday morning, they visited the neighbor's house to see if the camera captured their movements around the front yard, trying to see if the morning of Sebastian's disappearance could have been captured. It was about 9 police/detectives. That's very interesting. What do you think about that? Yes, around 1 a.m. in the morning, 9 cars of police detectives were searching inside and outside the Proudfoot's homes. This was reacting what may have happened, and also checking the video footage of across the street neighbor's camera to see if by them being in the front yard, would it capture, to give the idea if the camera would have captured when Sebastian supposedly left out the front door of the Proudfoot's home. So another thing is, now, let's say, for instance, if it should pick up Sebastian catching the bus every morning. If that, well, maybe getting out of the door, because he would probably go down the driveway there. I don't know if it would pick up that part or not. I have no idea. Butterfly Kisses, thank you so much for 2 months, my love. I really do appreciate you so much. Lily Black, hey girl, good to see you. Thank you so much for becoming a member. I do appreciate your support. You are now a pearl. Don't know which Sunday. Don't know which Sunday.
They are all wondering if
It's posted
myself,
an
my
hour
wife,
ago.
and the biological father took. Okay, we know that's a lie. We know that is absolutely a lie because of what he told you on your show.
Wait, you're saying that that's what Proudfoot said, that he had taken a polygraph, he and his
Word
wife,
for
and
word.
had been, quote, vetted. Okay.
Yes.
Yes, he
He
did
has-
say that on a podcast. Go ahead.
Okay, and then we also have the belt. You know, we have hitting Sebastian with the belt. I don't know if you caught this, but you know, when Seth Rogers was on your show last week, when we were talking about the belt, he started crying. I saw later Seth referred to it as he wasn't aware of the corporal punishment that Chris Proudfoot was handing out to his son, to Seth Rogers' autistic son. And you know, we pointed out that he Proudfoot claimed it was years ago, and it was one spank with the belt on his butt, but through clothing, which makes no sense to any parent in the history of mankind or any teacher at school that they would actually look into something through clothing like that. But they couldn't remember when, how long ago it was. And in another interview, he said 15, which means it had to have been in the last several months. So we've got a number of
Didn't
serious
Sebastian?
issues.
I do not believe that it was only one time at all. At all. I don't see Chris doing something like that just one time.
Also, if he was already familiar with the
Sorry. It's okay. The person who posted this into the Facebook group is a neighbor. They said it was Sunday gone, allegedly. Huh.
Turned 15 in December.
Correct. And it went missing February 26th.
So if he was 15 when he got a whack with a belt, that would have been in the last few months just before he disappears. So which one is true?
Who whips a 15-year-old? Like, seriously. I mean, Chris has, I mean, he's in diapers, for God's sakes. How more can you humiliate this child? Chris.
I found, I'm sorry.
No,
I
please.
found where it said, no, ma'am, I'm speaking about this past Monday, not talking about the Monday when the missing occurred, when he went missing.
Okay. Miss Kirby's comment. Tammy, hey.
So Sunday night, Monday morning, it looks like they searched their house again in the area.
So, from Sunday gone. So what I've heard recently is allegedly that the FBI is looking at this closer now, perhaps.
I don't blame them.
The camera was not aimed in the common areas, at least it says.
I wish it would be the same as Summers if they looked that a little closer too.
Exactly. The tiny paws, that's as loud as it'll go, hun. I apologize if it's is it low on your end, Guidance?
It's lower, but from what I understand, it's a lot lower than our mics.
Okay.
I lowered my mic.
Was it 3 years ago, or was it when he was 15 years old? Another question. Allegations that Sebastian was molested have now emerged. What can you tell us?
From Seth Rogers. Sebastian's biological father, Seth Rogers, said that when the Proudfoots, when Katie and Chris Proudfoot and Sebastian were living in an apartment in California several years ago, that Katie Proudfoot allowed a boy that was 5 years older than Sebastian to play with Sebastian, and the boy was 13. Sebastian was 8 at this time. She allowed it. Seth Rogers said that Katie Proudfoot allowed a 13-year-old boy to play with Sebastian, who is 8, without any kind of involvement from Katie Proudfoot. And
Yeah, so talking about, Seth uh brought this to light and talked about this as well. But Sweetie Pilo, which we're going to get to in just a minute, she's reporting um some new stuff, and I want to hear y'all's thoughts on this. I just don't think, I mean, none of us know Sebastian, but I just don't see him why he would need a diaper at 15. I mean, come on.
that during the time, this 13-year-old molested and raped Sebastian Rogers.
It seems the more we investigate, the murkier the facts become. This is what I know. Every day, literally every hour, that Sebastian Rogers is missing is 1 hour closer to him being dead. Can we tune out all the static and the noise and try to focus on finding this autistic boy? And to you, Mr. Proudfoot, our offer is still on the table
There you go.
for a polygraph, free of charge to you. I'll pay for it out of my pocket.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Her tone and inflection at the closing
Chef's
speaks
kiss, yeah.
volumes for Nancy.
Yeah, I agree. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. That's a lot. Yeah, Nancy, she's asking some tough things now, right? All right. So now I would like
We
what?
we did anticipate.
Yeah, I figured, Nancy, the first interview, she just wanted to gather what they were saying. But now, again, you just stood on national television and said, name the time and the place. Name the time and the place. And
She should have been like, I'm outside, I'm ready to go. Come on, hop on out of that trailer.
right.
That's the only way you would have got one.
Hmm. Yes. Okay. Now we are going to go to Sweetie Pilo. If you're not subscribed to Sweetie Pilo, please subscribe to her. She is awesome. Her link is down in the description. If you want to watch this in its entirety, I do recommend you watching this absolutely in its entirety. That way you can go through it on your own time without, after our commentary. She's, putting out some stuff here. And hey, Nicolina, good to see you, hun. And yeah, we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it here. Buckle
Hey,
up, because it's real.
Real quick before this,
Mhm.
it looks like they did a reenactment around 1 a.m. on Monday, going into Sunday, going into Monday, and seeing the view. So it looks like they reenacted it.
Oh, that's interesting. They're reenacting it now and they're checking these things out.
Camera views and everything.
That's very, very interesting. Sounds like I don't know. Could there be, an affidavit coming soon? Probable cause?
Possibly.
I don't know. We will see though. Okay. All right. So, I'm just going to start this at a specific point and then we're going to commentate. If you want me to stop guidance, just let me know.
So when I saw this line here about Sebastian, when he gets into a situation where he acts out and that he bites himself out of frustration and that he would throw himself on the ground, all of a sudden, I was reminded of those bite marks, guys, on Seth's forearm. And I'm not
Okay.
Seth. Excuse me. Let me say that over again. I was reminded of those bites on Chris's forearm.
I say sometimes I get mixed up too with Seth and Chris. Obviously, they're totally different, but the names, right? This is a very good point. I mean, here we have, this legal document and talking about Seth biting himself, right? Was he a biter? And then we see those marks that are clear as day on Chris's arm. Is it related? Have no idea, but it is a very interesting scenario that she puts out here.
Let's look at him again.
Watch this, guys. Sebastian. That's Seth. Sorry. See,
All right.
I mean, look at this right here. And Sebastian has, we all have our own unique bite, right? We have our own unique, teeth. And Sebastian's, his is kind of spaced out a little bit more. Now, Chris alleges that his Morkies did this. To me, this does not look like a Morkie. And why is it on both arms? Why is it on both arms? I don't know. But that, to me, that looks like a puncture. Almost a puncture. Like, what a bite looks like. We all know what a human bite looks like. Justin, there are so many similarities with Sebastian and my son. At the age, it's mind-blowing. Aw. Oh, Proudfoot, Barefoot. Got it, Bear. Lee have it, understood. So together. Okay.
So you guys can see these look perfectly spaced.
No, it's a Morkie. It's a Maltese and a Yorkie mix, so they call them Morkies with an M. Yeah, front teeth. And she makes an interesting observation.
I don't
here.
want to jump to conclusions, but I'm so glad Smiley Stories brought those up during her live stream, her interview with them, because
right. I mean, first of all, how would a dog bite you or scratch you like that? I don't understand. A scratch is distinct. A dog's bite is distinct, right? Angel, thank you so much, my love. Thank you. I really do appreciate your support. Thank you so much for that. Looks like a Headlock bite. Ah, interesting. Interesting.
When I look at these now, all I see is teeth marks, and they look, honest to God, like human teeth marks. They truly do. And so from there, I got to thinking about the kind of potential abuse that I believe poor Sebastian endured in that.
Hold on, we got to call people. 1 second. All right. Go ahead, Nick.
Hey, Justin.
Hello.
Well, I don't know who's on panel. Who's on panel?
Guidance.
Oh, that's beautiful guidance.
Yes.
So, a lot of you may know, or you may not know, but children that are on the spectrum, when they are overstimulated, they have to figure out a way to calm themselves down. And oftentimes, biting themselves is one of those behaviors that you will see in an autistic child, where they will bite themselves because they are so overstimulated. So we can't make assumptions based on Sebastian being on the spectrum. It's just like somebody maybe with like borderline personality disorder that cuts themselves because they are mentally overstimulated, and that's like a way to like have like feelings, to feel things other than what they're experiencing mentally. So we can't rule out that this is not because of autism.
Right. Sure.
You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like a self-soothing or
Right.
What was that?
She said like a self-soothing to
Yeah, it
self-regulate.
is self-soothing.
Yeah, to self-regulate.
You'll see children on the spectrum. They may rock back and forth. They may hum. They'll
my
hit
twins do that.
themselves. As somebody that has, you know, 2 nephews and a niece on the spectrum, especially if they're not getting the correct like occupational therapy, et cetera, to kind of deal with that. When my niece and nephews were a little younger than Sebastian is now, they would punch themselves, pinch themselves, because when they were in an environment of being overstimulated, that was the only way they could cope with that, whatever was going on in that moment. So we can't assume that this was somebody else, this was a dog, this was a parent.
Well, he says it
And
was
I'm
a
not-
dog. What I mean, in your opinion, what kind of bite or what does this look like to you?
It looks like a human bite mark.
It does to me, in my
Does
opinion.
not look like a canine. A canine, you're gonna have 1 or 2 puncture wounds with their actual canine teeth. So what you're seeing what you're showing on the screen, that is definitely a human versus a canine.
Right.
But we can't rule out that he wasn't biting himself.
Sure.
Well, that's
I'm not saying
Chris's.
that it could.
Now that's Chris's
somebody
arm.
else.
That's Chris's arm. That's the
So he could have, but you got to understand, children with autism will also physically lash out as well. It depends on.
yeah.
So a lot has changed with autism. Autism used to be, you know, your Asperger's. Now the DSM has changed it up, and they have levels now. So I don't know Sebastian enough, but you can also have a child that will retaliate against the caregiver.
The problem is
Where they get physical.
The problem is Chris was not home. He was not supposed to be home for a month.
He also said it was the Morkies that did it.
Yeah, he said he said the dogs did this, and he has not been home.
No, there's no
in a
way
month.
that's a canine bite. I'm sorry, and I just came in late, but I'm talking from my own experience with,
Right.
you know, nephews and a niece, and I've seen it.
Well, you're in medical too. You've seen a lot as well, so you know.
But I do want to say, somebody that is not in true crime myself, mom and stepdad are sus as fuck.
Right. Yeah.
That's all.
Thank you.
You got to take in the spectrum issue.
Yeah,
You don't know.
absolutely. Absolutely.
All
Uh,
right, thanks, Justin. Bye, guys.
Thank you. Bye, dear.
I love.
Yeah, she makes a great point there. The only caveat that I have to that is Chris was not at home, right? Chris was A, not at home, and B, he says this came from a dog, not a human being. And look at these arms. You know what I mean? I mean, that looks like a human bite in my opinion. You know, she, I think,
Household. A very reliable source
listen to this, y'all.
shared some information with me. I'm going to play you a clip real quick, and then we'll get into that.
Society and not be part of the problem.
Can we talk about that? Can we talk about the diapers real quick?
Sure.
I'm glad you mentioned that. What's up with the diapers? Could you break that down for me? Because I've heard that many different times in many different comments and chat forums and all that. Could you just explain a little bit about this diaper situation?
He was having accidents at school, and
Now, again, I want to just reiterate that what we are talking about is our opinions only. Chris and Katie have not been named a persons of interest whatsoever at this point, whether that is strategic on law enforcement's part or if that is 100%. Law enforcement is saying that Chris and Katie are cooperating with law enforcement, and that's that. We are just giving our opinions, absolutely just giving our opinions. And here we have Sweetie Pilo giving her opinions, and Nancy Grace and you all giving your opinions in here. We are not a judge nor a jury. We don't, at the end of the day, convict anyone. So I just want to make sure people understand that, these are just our opinions, and follow, your own gut.
Now that I was thinking about it, I find it interesting that they did a reenactment specifically on a Sunday going into a Monday too.
Yeah.
Because of the schools, the buses, the traffic, the normalcy of like a Sunday going into a Monday.
Yeah, that is interesting. You would, because you wouldn't think law enforcement would normally do something like that on a Sunday.
Right. They're dead during the weekend. It's dead silence.
Right.
But I think they're trying to react exactly how that town operates a Sunday going into a Monday. Because it's not like a normal city. There's always chaos.
Absolutely.
Like the trash truck. Trash comes through. Did certain cars go through?
Yep.
There's definitely going to be some big things coming up after this, I guess. I'm just thinking, guess.
I think if nothing happens in the next 10 days, then I am really discouraged if nothing has happened by then.
Chris got tired of Katie taking clothes.
Sorry, go ahead. What's that?
If they did make a trip out to Mississippi and they did go and react, there's more coming down the chute. They're searching close to home now.
Yeah. All right.
Close to him to change clothes, so he made him wear a pull-up. Which is actually one of those things that happens to children that are abused. He would come to my house. First thing he did when he came in, I was like, take those damn things off, go take a shower, put on some underwear and some comfy clothes. Because We're men. We wear our boxers. We wear our boxer briefs.
Mhm.
You know, we're not wearing pull-ups. And no accidents here.
But when he would go over there, he would be wearing diapers.
When he went over there, it got to the point where
Listen to this.
he was forced to
Oh
bring a
my God.
diaper over here. Or when he left, he couldn't have underwear at their house.
Really?
That shocked everyone. That shocked everyone. I know that shocked Pascal. You could tell by his face. Really, why can't a 15-year-old boy have underwear? You make him sit in diapers, and that's just, I mean, you're really you're starting to become a man at that point, right? And you shouldn't be in a diaper unless, you're bedbound or you have terrible incontinence issues. I don't see.
Chris didn't want him wearing underwear. Chris wanted to wear a pull-up. Chris got upset that I wouldn't enforce that at my house.
What?
My son doesn't need to be in a pull-up. My son needs to be treated better. Accidents happen.
No doubt.
All right. But maybe months without an accident in my house.
Real quick before we continue, I do want to give everybody a quick heads up. Please, guys, I have pinned it to the top.
So what we have here is a situation where Chris Proudfoot more than likely was abusing him far more than he cares to admit. I mean, we know.
I absolutely agree with that. Her opinion on that. I absolutely do. He did deserve so much better.
100%.
Seth said that Chris got tired of Katie going back and forth to the school because he was having so many accidents. Just have him take a change of clothes. Extra set of clothes. Like, it's not that big of a deal, right? I mean, if he has this, but don't make him sit in a sweaty ass diaper all day.
And it's also re-victimizing the victim too, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, why would he allegedly just have these accidents at Chris and Katie's versus
Triggering moments, triggering environment. I think there's more to it.
We know of at least one.
Go ahead. Yep. Go ahead.
I think there's more to it. Just like you said, I've been quiet on this speculation, but I honestly think there's more than just DV. But that's my own assumption.
Well, I mean, I don't know, but this is what Sweetie Pilo, she's gonna play. I think she's even gonna play her source here in a moment, and it's pretty jaw-dropping.
Incident. But honestly, I think there was so many more incidents than that. One or two that he's actually admitted to. Because remember, on Nancy Grace, he definitely tried to minimize it quite a bit. So I got into a conversation yesterday with a very reliable source. Guys, I wish I could tell you who it was.
Right here.
But they want to remain nameless. So just take this as, allegedly or speculation, whatever you want to file it as. But they're very reliable. What they shared with me was information about Chris Proudfoot and the great lengths that his family would go to cover up for him. So pretty much the conversation we were having, I was like, do you think,
Here we go. Listen.
I mean, we know what, so a 15-year-old, autistic or not, wearing diapers, who is considered very high functioning, are we going to consider that as normal or okay? That doesn't seem
No,
right.
no,
This
it's
is a
not.
kid who, in my opinion, at the bare minimum, he's being physically abused. But I even wonder, and this is what I brought up. I said, do you think he could be so weird as to like SA type abuse? And then I was told,
Listen to this.
well,
Close.
somebody, how do I say this? Okay. In the past, let's say, and this is for sure before Chris was of age, so 18 years old. Not only did he SA his own stepsister, but he also did this to his cousin. And his mother, Kathy, covered for him.
Bam.
Sounds like two different
So-
cases we know about.
Yes. Who does it sound like to you?
Summer and Stefan. With Don and Stefan.
Yeah. Well, Stefan with his stepchild, and Dawn with his stepsisters.
Their parents always tried to cover it up.
Yes, and especially back then, they would overlook this. You know, a lot of the older people would overlook this because they just didn't want to deal with it. And
It was also frowned upon and shoved under the rug. It was taboo to talk about or even look at or acknowledge even being pregnant out of wedlock.
absolutely.
And that's why sometimes when people say, I can't believe all this is happening and going on, well, it's always been there, except for more people are talking about it and it's at our fingertips now. And it's sad.
Yes.
I lost what else I was going to say.
Christina, thank you so much for being around a lot longer. Love you too, honey. Thank you so much for your support. So, I guess Sweetie, she has a source. She says it's a very credible source about this. Again, I want to emphasize that there's, to our knowledge, there's never been a charge or anything related to Chris. So I just want to
Covered it up however she could. And suddenly, it all started to make sense. Though these are women, or not women, these are females that in the past were victimized, is it possible that he didn't have any, I hate to go there, but any preference on this? Is he just an abusive type person? I was deeply troubled finding this out, guys. Very deeply troubled. The thing is this family is truly, in my opinion, a crime family. Like Terry, the stepdad of Chris, he has a history of, and not to say that all drug users are gonna, be shady and do unscrupulous things, because they won't. But Terry Bowersox does have a history with some methamphetamine.
So there's that. Lord have mercy.
Going back to, let's see, what was that? Charges filed. And this was a while ago, okay? February 17, 1981. But then you've got
That's
So
35.
probation violation in 2000.
I mean, to be fair, that's 40 years ago. That's over 40 years ago.
What year did he go into the Marine Corps?
I don't know, but you know,
There's
with
a picture of him enlisted, and I wonder how long he went in.
I don't know.
But it speaks a lot about the past and the history of the environment.
Well, because in my opinion, it could be family members speaking. Also, if he did it as a minor, records could be sealed. Remember, he wanted his case with Nina sealed. That is true. That
And then
could
if
be true.
say
Yeah.
the generation above us, because he's right around our age, was convicted. If they're grandfathered in, they don't have to register.
Wow.
I know that personally from a family member.
Wow. All right. So she's got her record here, but it's kind of
6,
blurry. So it's hard to
schedule,
see.
what is that, 4 drugs, less than a half ounce. And that was, 2006. And then in 2011, so March of 2011, obtaining drugs by fraud. And then let's see.
That's, in my opinion, that sounds like writing scripts or something like that. Fraud. You know
That's
what
what
I
I
mean?
thought.
It's the first thing I thought personally, but I don't know that to be a fact or anything.
Sound like
SF49, your girl. Thank you so much for becoming a member. Welcome to the family. You are now a Pearl, my love. Thank you so much for your support. Yeah. That's what I thought of. That's the first thing that came to my mind.
4/13/2011, obtaining drugs by fraud. And then what is this? May 23rd of 2006, unlawful drug paraphernalia uses and activity. Again, I don't want to say that just because somebody did drugs means that they're going to do other shady things. But that takes me to my next point. Check this out. Let me make sure you guys are seeing everything. Okay, good.
Okay. Our next point. Vicky, thank you so much, my love. Welcome to the family. Appreciate your support. You are now a Pearl. Welcome. Thank you, dear. Back in the late 80s, my stepdad used to bully my brother or autistic brother, and he used to wet the bed because of anxiety, then get punished for wetting the bed. Could never catch a break. Yeah. That reminds me of Elijah. He got changed once a day, but when he had an overfilled diaper, he would get that.
It was the 3-year-old's fault for having an
Right.
overfilled diaper.
Right. You just can't win with these people.
No, my bio dad has stories like that with foster parents as his when he was growing up.
Wow. Wow. Okay.
So this was in one of the groups. So again, we can file this as speculation. But here's what was said. I probably have the missing piece to the puzzle. On the 26th, around 5:45 in the morning, so this would have been Monday morning, 5:45 in the morning, there was a SUV parked on the side of the road, right past the country store on New Hope Road. I cannot 100% swear on the Bible, but the SUV looks just like CP, so Chris Proudfoot's mother's SUV. But if it is her vehicle, then the time adds up to when Sebastian's mother was about to drive to the school and look for him. I can almost bet my life that she met her up there and gave him to her. I done some asking around and found the landowner information, and they just happen to have trail cameras, a few of them right in that area. So in the morning, I'm getting the cards and going to see if I'm right. A few people already know, and Sumner County will know if what is on the camera is what I believe it is. CP's mother and stepfather are some evil people, and I believe with everything I love, it's going to turn out to be what I believe it is. There's 6 other people seen in that vehicle that morning, park up past that store and school, and I believe we are about to blow it wide open. As of recently, I have not seen, just a minute, hold on. I have not seen any follow-up on this, but I found it extremely interesting. When I spoke to somebody in that neighborhood,
Listen to this.
remember, they told me that when she left that, so shortly after she realized he had vanished, she leaves the house and she drives around. They say she came back pretty quick after that. As a matter of fact, hold on, I might have a video. I think I added the video, some audio in here. Let me see if I can find it. Just a minute. Is it here? Just a minute. Let me see if I've got it on my phone more readily available than this. Well, let's listen to this clip. Hold on. So you guys saw on your camera.
And right after school on Friday.
Okay.
On my video, about somewhere around 3
Okay, now this is, I'm guessing, the neighbor.
o'clock, get the mail on Friday.
Okay.
Then they evidently had been out on Saturday because she comes home, she pulls up, he jumps out of the car and he gets the mail, and while she's pulling into the garage, he's skipping and he looks happy and he's running up to the front door, but then he doesn't go in the front door and he skips back down the sidewalk and into the garage. But
Right,
looks really
right
happy.
there.
I did not
Right there. Did you catch
visually
that?
see him.
What's that? No, I was typing
Did you catch
something.
that?
What is it? Let me go back here.
Like,
He's pulling
what did
into
I say the other
garage.
night about?
What?
What did I say about the other night? They do not seem like front door people.
Yes. Yes.
Listen, this part caught my attention.
Okay.
He's skipping and he looks happy and he's running up to the front door, but then he doesn't go in the front door and he skips back down the sidewalk and into the garage, but looks really happy.
Mhm.
I did not visually see him on Friday with the camera, but Sunday with my camera, but that was when I asked my husband asked the police, did you see who took that trash down? Was that the
Oh, interesting. Interesting.
So they do use the garage as their main entry point.
Yeah. I mean, I would think they would have to, wouldn't they?
Well, apparently to
Yeah.
them, everything's at the front door, just like the shoes. And that's
Morgan-
what brought my question, because they don't seem like front door kind of people, and neither does the house.
I agree. Morgan, thank you so much. I appreciate you, dear. Welcome to the family. You are now a Pearl. Welcome. Thank you so much for your support. That's very kind of you. Brandy, very kind of you. Thank you so much for your super sticker. Means so much. I really do appreciate your support.
Do we have an on board?
Oh,
Pearl Barty. That's hard to say from my lip.
yeah.
Pearl
I'll
boarding.
do that in a minute. 1 second. I'll do that in a minute. It's for the kid.
Sebastian?
I didn't understand
And
what
they
you're
said yes, because in this neighborhood, if you want your trash picked up on Monday morning, you got to take it down there Sunday, sometime Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
So you guys saw on your camera.
right after school on Friday.
Okay.
On my video, about somewhere around 3 o'clock, get the mail on Friday.
Okay.
Then they evidently had been out on Saturday because she comes home, she pulls up, he jumps out of the car and he gets the mail, and while she's pulling into the garage, he's skipping and he looks happy and he's running up to the front door, but then he doesn't go in the front door and he skips back down the sidewalk and into the garage, but looks really happy.
Chris, he lives what, 45 minutes?
Yeah, he uprooted his whole life to live next to
Yeah.
them. Even
Yeah,
changed states to follow them there.
Yeah, he came here to to move with them. So there's that. Anything else you want to comment on?
And I don't think she's so familiar with the case itself. He is a corrections officer at his local jail as well. Seth, the bio dad, not Chris, the up in the air.
Sorry. Seth, not Chris.
Yeah, Seth the bio dad,
Seth,
not Chris.
yeah. Did I say Chris?
No,
Okay.
I was just being Chris's job and him up in the air.
Sorry. I think you said Chris moved. Maybe. I don't know. But Chris is Seth moved to, he uprooted his entire life to be
follow them.
with his son. So there's that.
And he's the only parent searching.
I did not visually see him on Friday with the camera, but I mean Sunday with my camera. But that was when I asked my husband asked the police, did you see who took that trash down? Was that Sebastian? And they said yes, because in this neighborhood.
Okay, guys, I had you listen to it twice because I'm trying to find this clip, but it's not where I thought it was. Pretty much playing into the lie, like, oh, and we don't I'll share that with you right here.
Here we go.
Now.
Here's this part.
What happened that may be just finding out about Sebastian being missing. Can you walk us through what?
Okay, so here she's playing. This is Chris's first This is one of Chris's first and Katie's first interviews, and this was on Duchess, but Sweetie is playing it here. And listen to this. God, he really, really sticks his foot in his mouth.
Happened on Sunday, like before Sebastian, went missing. Can you walk everybody through that and what led up to you finding out?
Real quick, too, if I could have a mod put in Duchess's channel so that we can credit her for this live stream, please. For this clip, I mean. Okay, we'll go ahead.
Out that Sebastian was missing.
Yeah.
This is Katie.
Sunday morning. I'll just start with the morning.
Okay, this is Katie talking now about what happened that morning. Mods, please put Duchess and Sweetie Pilo's link in the chat as well. It'll also be in the description. Thank you so much, my dear. Appreciate it. Listen to this.
Sunday morning, we got up and I made a fun breakfast for us, spaghetti pancakes.
Fun fact.
Google it, y'all. We FaceTime family while we were eating so he could brag because that's something he likes to do. And we were laughing and joking on FaceTime and having a good time with that. After breakfast, we got a call to go pick up our niece and go take her to meet up. So we did that. We went and picked her up and we met her mom at BJ's. And we were there with family members. We come home and put our groceries away. And then a little bit later, we went to the bowling alley, a local bowling alley here, and we played games. And then and this is just Bubba and I, and we went to dinner, just the two of us, and then come home. He took the trash out because that's his chore. And he come in and he was playing in his room until bedtime. And at bedtime, I told him, I said, hey, Bubba, it's time to go to bed. And he goes, okay, good night, Mama, I love you. And then he said goodnight to his puppies. And he went to bed.
Okay, and walk me through.
Hang on, I want to interrupt real quick. So what she talks about there with the whole goodnight routine. First of all, I have a 15-year-old son. No, he is not autistic. But in my experience, he is the type that loves to stay up late And when I go in and I say, okay, good night, Malik, I love you. Like, it's like, okay, see ya, Mom. And then he,
Yeah, what 15-year-old goes to bed as soon as you say, go to bed? Because mine don't. Mine don't.
Mine don't. Still trying to
he's still
sneak
going to
everything.
be gaming or
Yeah.
doing whatever it is he wants to do for the next couple hours. I mean, he's a straight A student. I trust him like beyond words because he's just that good. So it's automatically kind of hard for me to imagine that she just says, hey, it's time for bed, and he just goes to bed. Number one, that's hard for me to picture. But then the whole, okay, good night, Mom, good night, puppies, like it's incredibly rehearsed. Yes, Christina. Yeah. Extremely rehearsed. Okay, let's continue listening. It just made me think of that.
That's true, Nick.
What happened? You said that you
That
were
is
on a phone call. You
very
were on the
true.
couch and then you went to bed at midnight. Walk me through
What is it?
exactly.
That
Nick?
autistic children are very ritualistic. They like structure. So
Yes.
to a certain extent, it could be believable. But when they hear a thud an hour later, there's no way he went straight to bed.
Exactly.
Because the days that I don't go by my structure with my twins who are on the spectrum, it's meltdown city. And you've heard that before on the phone.
Yeah, I mean, that's just kids, right? You know?
What transpired during that time before you went to bed at midnight for you?
So, well, my husband, he works out of town a lot. So, we normally sit and talk every evening, and I normally fall asleep on him. And he'll tell me, wake up, you got to go to bed. And
So they just sit on the phone like you're in, when you're first in love with someone or something and you fall asleep. So you just keep the phone open for hours and you just go to sleep, but I thought you were studying for a chapter or something. But guess what? We don't hear a studying for a chapter here. Not
He
in
doesn't
this
take
interview.
Not until Nancy.
Bingo. Listen to this. What's this?
so, and that was right around midnight. So I got up and I put the puppies up and I went to bed myself at midnight. And, I went to sleep, obviously. And then at 6 a.m., I went to wake him up for school. And
Now, that's very interesting how she says, I went to sleep, obviously. Well, what else did we think you were doing? Crocheting? I mean, what the hell? Why do you have to tell us you went to sleep? You just said you was falling asleep. So you told me to get up. I mean, you just told us you were going to sleep. You was already asleep.
that's when I couldn't find him. And, sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. Take your time. Take your time. Tell me, did Sebastian take any type of medication before he went to bed, or that would make him sleepy, or if he did take medication, it was just in the morning, or did he take medication at night before he went to bed?
He did take medication nightly and daily.
Okay.
Just for HIPAA reasons, we will not disclose.
I understand.
Oh
Whoa,
God.
whoa, whoa. Can we get Nick's reaction on this one?
Is this a HIPAA violation? It's not a HIPAA violation. I knew that. But for HIPAA violations, he can't tell us if he took medicine.
He
what
blames
medicine.
everything on HIPAA and TBI.
Yeah, it's a crutch.
Yes, it does. Crime factor.
Crazy. It's just
It's
crazy.
streaming at the bottom, love.
What is it?
Nicolina was asking for your Cash App. It's Crime
Oh, no,
Factor.
Nick,
I'll
you're
put it in
fine.
chat.
You're fine, honey. No, it's fine. You're good, I promise.
I was just trying to think, if there was some.
There's that wonderful line for
Yeah, HIPAA. And Sweetie, she thinks it's hilarious too, because HIPAA is for the professionals. It's not.
Yeah. If you're regarding a patient or your work, not your child.
Jesus.
HIPAA reasons. We cannot give away that information. Like, it's laughable. For HIPAA reasons? Really?
Nurse
Are you in
caregiver.
healthcare, Mr.
You know,
Chris? Like, what?
Not everybody has heard that excuse from him. I'm still running into people that have not heard him say that.
He comes in like a wrecking ball. That's what he does. Guys, I don't know who's calling right now, but I'm not taking calls at the moment unless it's Nick.
HIPAA gate? It's 989.
I don't know who that was. So.
Ridiculous.
It is
something that might have made him sleepy, like if he would have woken up. You know, I'm just all these different questions that people have asked. So,
right.
But you don't have to disclose any particular. Nobody needs to know that, you know, specifically. I just wanted to ask.
Thank you, Nick. Didn't have to do that. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Do you feel any particular way? Do you have any thoughts about Sebastian's disappearance? Do you feel that he may have walked off? I've seen a lot of people in chat saying that he went out the window versus he went out the door. How did the door get locked? That you found the door locked?
Yeah.
Can you walk me through exactly
locked up
what
the
that
house
looks like and what you found? Was the door locked? What do you think may have occurred for him walking off versus
Well, I'll tell you
being
this.
with someone? Okay.
We didn't find any signs of the windows, but and without disclosing the details of my door locks, I will say that
understand.
Sebastian regularly and consistently went out and locked the door behind himself.
So she doesn't want to talk about her door locks that she installs 5 days a week with the van outside. Ugh, this woman, telling you, it's like, what the thud, man?
Coming from an installation tech.
Yes, a big name, one of the biggest companies.
He's out there.
Yeah, she doesn't want to talk about. Might be a HIPAA violation to tell what kind of locks she has. You know.
Okay.
It's ridiculous.
All right, let me get over here because I have some other questions that are coming in. What that looks like and what you found, was the door locked? What do you think may have occurred?
Absolutely, Gina. She never told Nancy Grace what she installed. She says, "I'm just an installation tech." Not that
Exactly.
she installs cameras and security systems for a living. She didn't tell that. That's kind of clever. Don't you think?
They leave certain things out, but like I've said since day one, Nancy asked questions she already knew the answers to,
Mm-hmm.
and now they're reaping the benefits they sowed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Him walking off versus
Well, I'll tell you
being
this.
with someone? Okay.
We didn't find any signs of the windows, but and without disclosing the details of my door locks, I will say that
understand.
Sebastian regularly and consistently went out and locked the door behind himself.
Okay.
Not just often, regularly. I can't even say it right now. Regularly. I can't say it. Say it for me. Regularly. I can't say it now because I'm
Regularly. I can't. I actually said it.
regularly
See, I've got a numb lip right here. It's all numb and tingly. So sometimes I
and
can't.
consistently. Regularly.
Regularly.
Regular.
Regular. Oh gosh. See, Canadian Cookie's even spelling it out in phonics.
Regularly.
There you go.
Regularly. God, why is it so complicated? It's hard being blonde, isn't it?
Yeah.
And consistently. I don't know why I couldn't say that. I don't know. Probably because there's 3,000 people in here. That's about it.
All right, let me get over here because I have some other questions that are coming in.
Now, I will say this much. Let them ask questions. I mean, we're not hiding anything. I've heard so much negativity that I refuse to answer questions. Let them fly. I mean, I'll be respectful on my responses. I would hope they would.
So we have to ask ourselves, why is the medicine such a soft spot for him specifically? Was it possibly because, could they have been like overdosing him, or not to jump to conclusions here, but I can see that maybe medicating him could be a helpful way to deal with maybe some of the.
What medicine was he on? It's very powerful antipsychotic. Can't remember the name of it. Do you remember what it was?
I remember you mentioning like Seroquel or something like that,
No,
but I don't.
it's stronger than Seroquel.
Risperidone? I didn't know the name. I'm just shooting off the names the last time I was on panel with you. Risperidone.
Yeah, that's what it is.
But it depends on the dosage.
Yeah, that's he took Vyvanse too. So they give him something to knock him out at night and Vyvanse of the day.
See, Risperidone depends.
Yes. Yeah, if there's any motion in your house, it senses it, your door, your windows.
Oh, that's true. They do have motion detectors too. It's bringing me all back to my old ADT days.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Right, Nick. I think it wouldn't surprise me if he was on that or Ritalin.
Yeah. Thank you, Misty. Chris and Katie need to be questioned separately. I agree. Chris and Katie's actions are not of heartbroken parents, step parent of a missing child. Their actions are screaming guilty. It's screaming something. It's screaming you're not looking for your kid and you wonder why. And it's screaming you're allegedly taking down flyers and you wonder why as well.
You know, I would give anything to interview the neighbor where they found him hiding underneath the car.
Yes. Vixen 2, sorry I missed that. The essay allegations against Chris might explain why Chris's brother has nothing to do with the family. Oh, never thought of that.
The junior, Bowersox Jr.
1111, thank you so much. Generally, autistic children do not sleep as much as most children, even needing only 4 hours of sleep in some cases. Yes.
High energy.
They
Mine are
got-
polar opposites. One can sleep, and one, 2-3 hours, he's good. And I'm like, can I just have a nap?
That's a lot. Yeah. Not his bio brother.
Now, Justin, I did want to, because of my squirrels.
Oh, really?
Really? Okay. At least I still have Wi-Fi. My phone's off, but I'll do the Wi-Fi. So, my question is you know how they specifically said he is not an eloper or a runner?
Yes.
How can you verify that when there's been fact of on the dispatch that whenever he would get in trouble, he would run to the high school? And neighbors have attested to finding him under cars, and he's known to running to the school. That to me is a runner eloper or in fear for his trauma. I've been trying to play that with my head, the scenarios.
There's that, Grace. Yes, there's that.
Oh, they might have privated it.
parts that are not so easy to deal with, if that makes sense. So why does he get all weird about the medicine part, right? Makes you wonder.
Would be respectful in their questions, but please let them fly. We're good with it.
Okay, I'm just going to, Crystal, Arctic, do you have a question that you want to ask before I take a few questions from the chat?
I do.
Okay, go ahead.
We know that Sebastian was high functioning, had high functioning autism. What would you say was strengths and weaknesses that he had? Because no two kids are the same, is why I'm asking.
That is, you are nowhere far from the truth on that, because that is so correct. Sebastian is extremely high functioning. His weakness, he does not have a sense of personal space. They've always been working with him about like a 3-foot rule, because
he goes with the weakness first.
to be right up in your face. Hey, whoa.
He deals with some social and emotional dysregulation issues.
So does
Simply
she.
put, his emotions or responses don't always appropriately match the situation.
Yep.
And socially, he can be somewhat awkward interacting with others because he doesn't always match. Like, I don't know how to say it right. Like, someone will want to talk about one conversation, but if that's not the subject he's fixated on, he will just railroad over that and go right back to what he's thinking. But at the same time, he's also, for the most part, a pretty happy kid, and he loves being a helper, and he likes animals, and he's really smart.
He can play in a game of chess, and he's beat grown men in chess.
He actually likes reading.
That's the only time I think I've ever heard them like say something like he actually likes to do and kind of describe him.
Everything
Occasionally, but
out
only
of
if it's what he
the
wants to read.
scope of he's a good kid.
Yeah.
I thought that earlier.
Mm.
So like Minecraft books, he loves to read those. Albeit his humor is a little different. He's funny. I prefer he's silly more than anything.
How is he with strangers?
Depends
Listen
on
to
the
this.
day, to be honest with you. He goes either he's never met a stranger all the way to, depending on his mood, he don't want nothing to do with anybody. So it's kind of difficult to answer that question because it varies depending on where he is in the moment.
Normally, he's there's times he's not afraid to talk to people. There's times he is afraid to talk to people. Adults, maybe not so much, but children, he has no problem approaching children and talking.
For the most part.
For the most part, like I said, it just depends on what mood and what day of the week you catch him.
Okay. Arctic, do you have a question you'd like to ask?
I just wanted to know if maybe, thinking back on it, is there anything you can think of that seemed off or out of the ordinary prior to him going missing during the night before you noticed he was missing?
I honestly didn't notice anything that was like, oh my God, that's weird, I mean, we had a really good day. He wasn't in trouble at all. We went to bed on a good note.
We had a really good day. He wasn't in trouble at all. Nobody asked that at all.
And I don't know if maybe he just wasn't saying something, but nothing. And I've gone over this so many times. I'm ill, but I didn't see or notice anything that was like red flag,
Okay.
He didn't have any meltdowns or anything like that seemed off.
No, he was actually really well behaved that day. He was even killed for the most part all day.
Can I ask the question?
Sure.
Was that unusual for him
No.
to be well behaved all day?
Not necessarily. And
Sebastian goes through phases.
he's got streaks where he's great, and then it's like he
Goes through remission.
like he'll screw up and he'll get in trouble, and then he'll be good again and he'll screw up. I mean, he's like a typical kid.
Screws up.
In a sense, but he just has autism, and I mean
How about he's just being a kid?
They blame his autism on everything.
Yeah. He was only diagnosed less than a year ago. The word actually, yeah. Yes, Carol, I've got 2 channels live right now.
It's hit or miss.
But like he'll be doing really, really great for a few weeks, and then all of a sudden it's like he'll flip a switch. Sorry, And, and then we're working on, going to the bathroom, and we're working on manners, and we're working on attitude. And then, and then we'll go through that phase.
Going
and
to the
then We'll
bathroom.
go through, and he'll flip the switch again, and he's, doing really great. He just goes through.
I understand that
it's like,
completely. Trust me.
Who was flipping the switch? I think it's Chris and Katie flipping the switch.
Now,
That's what I think.
granted, it could be OCD with switches on and off, but I think their temper.
He would go into remission.
Switch.
It's an interesting word, the way he used that, isn't it? Very
Almost as an addiction or cancer remission.
Huh.
It's not good when you use words like that, because then you get us both
Can
going.
you guys imagine how much it killed Sebastian's
Yeah.
spirit to be 14, 15 years old, getting spanked with a belt?
Exactly.
Think about that for a moment.
Exactly.
He's, kind of easing into adulthood here. And Mr. Big feels the need to spank him, outside of his clothes on the buttocks.
That's such a weird way he used
like,
that too.
Well, how would you like?
I swatted him one time on his buttocks.
That whole part of that interview has cringed me out, and you've known that. I just have never said it
It's
verbally, publicly.
weird. It's weird. The way he states it.
Hold on. What is this? Police scanners in Henderson are locked down, and large police presence per Facebook have locked down.
Prophets have locked down their Facebook accounts.
I'll take a look.
We'll take a look, yeah. Please hold. It could be a troll. I'm not saying you're a troll. I'm just saying it could be. Sometimes they come in and
That, Chris, if we did that to you, how would it make you feel? It's unacceptable. And yeah, for him to be wearing pull-ups at 15, that says everything, guys. It's one abuse.
yeah, he made the whip sound. He did. He made the whip sound. Freakazoid. Whack. Got him. To me, says it was a mark that the teacher seen from him from CPS. I don't know, but I do believe Sebastian opened up and Sebastian got it. He got it when everything was said and done. Scanner is quiet. We're checking right now.
Or the other, or both, if you ask me. I'm not a professional, but that's what it sounds like to me. What does it sound like to you guys? We'll carry on.
progress, backpedal, but it,
Now, when I saw on social media, some people were.
Yeah, he said the word pervy. We're not pervy to that, is what he said. Instead of privy.
Talking about Seth had spoken on, I guess it was, maybe it was the Pascal show that he recently spoke on. And he was talking about how at the end of the school year, Sebastian was supposed to come and live with him. And
it's interesting how it sounds like they wanted him out. And a few months before school, he ends up missing.
can you tell us anything about that? Is there anything specific to know about that? I think a lot of people have been, have
Find anything? No. Okay.
been saying some very interesting things. According to some posts that I saw, apparently it's because Chris, you are that he's scared of you, that he's scared of you, and that you're bullying him at home. And I don't like to ask.
He chuckles. He chuckles as Duchess says, he's scared of you. He goes, ha, 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 ha. Really? Is that funny? No, that's not funny. How sad that a kid would fear his stepdad that much. The one that his mom chose to marry, that
Wow.
he would absolutely fear him. I think that's very sad.
And I think if CPS, well, they did come the end of January of this year. God only knows. God only knows what took place in that house. God only knows.
So yeah, that's a troll. It's going to all of the
Hold on.
channels.
What is it?
Yeah, it's a troll. It's channel hopping with the same comment.
Gotcha.
Because I just want you
It's
to
amazing. It's amazing. People just go hop channel to channel just to do that stuff. Shame.
talk to us about why people are saying this and why people are also putting online that you have domestic violence charges. And I just wanted you to talk to us about that. If you, whatever you feel like you can tell us, so we can try to reel that in.
No, I'm okay to address every bit of this.
Okay.
So you mentioned Sebastian's afraid of me. Well, that is a loaded question because somebody who has released some information out there from another show, who I won't put his name out there, allowed somebody to say something. Now, mind you, when you have a teenage child or teenage children, all parents know this, your children are not going to like you because you're not there to be their best friend. You're there to be a parent. And as parents, you have rules they have to follow. If they don't, there's consequences. Sebastian will say one day he's upset and mad at me for something,
Listen
and
to this.
20 minutes later will run up to me, throw his arms around me, cry and say, I'm sorry and I love you.
That bothers me.
Same.
That bothers me. It really bothers me that you just don't hear of, I don't know. You don't hear of parents saying the negative things over and over and over about them when the only thing they should be doing is just trying to find their child.
And they're doing the exact opposite.
They ain't doing nothing other than trying to defend themselves is all their thing they're
So,
doing.
you know, when you get in trouble, of course you don't like your parents. You know, he said the exact same things about his father, but that's when you set him down and said, look, bud, parents are parents, and we're going to have to do what we have to do. And unfortunately, you're not going to like it, but down the road, when you get older and if you decide to have children, someday you're going to look back and say, man, they were right. So, I mean, people have their opinions, they have their thoughts and their assumptions, and that's fine. I have never once stopped a person from having them. That's why we are people. That's how we are. But knowing
Can't wait till they get to the lie detector test up
the
here.
facts
Oh, it's so
are one
interesting.
thing, and then assumptions behind what you want to put out there is something totally different.
Right.
You know, you addressed domestic violence. Okay. There are some folks out there who have decided to go online and go pull some public records, which perfectly okay with. Domestic violence, if I had domestic violence in my background, I wouldn't have certain credentials that I have because you're not legally allowed to. Domestic violence, no. I've had a temporary protective order and I had a no contact order placed against me in New Mexico with my ex-wife. Now, mind you, let me back up and I'll play the whole story for you. Me and my ex-wife, we actually lived here in Tennessee for a little bit. We had a daughter. And at the time, my daughter was only maybe 6 weeks old. An event took place while I was holding my daughter. And when that took place, I filed for an immediate protection order against her. We went to court. The court made their decisions. I gave my daughter back to her mother. And when she received her, she jumped in the truck and flew right back to New Mexico. Got to New Mexico within 2 days of being there. She turned around and filed the exact same thing against me in New Mexico. So everything that people are reading, it's on a court document. But what you don't read is the all the things that are happening in the court.
Well, Nina got us up to date with that, thankfully. She was very brave for coming out and doing that. We support Nina 1000%. Thank you, Skinny. Thank you so much for becoming a new member, my love. Appreciate your support. You are now a Pearl. Welcome, welcome.
You're not reading the transcript, so unfortunately, you don't know the full story. But if people want to ask, I'm okay to tell you. You know, yes, I still have a current custody case going on in New Mexico that actually has absolutely zero bearing on this case with Sebastian. I do ask people to refrain from bringing that up because it has no bearing.
Oh.
And all you're going to do is put assumptions, and you're going to allow people to have their speculations and bring out more false.
Well, we got Nina's truth. So
Information, and what people don't understand is every time somebody puts something out there, or they call into the law enforcement agency and says the stepfather did it, you need to check the stepfather. Well, now you've just pulled a body away from the investigation because they are mandated to deal with that.
Right.
And I have told everybody from the very beginning. The TBI put a news link out, and in there it does state that all three parents have extremely been cooperative and constantly or continuously working with law enforcement. And there's absolutely nothing to show that we are responsible, foul play, any of that nature. People have asked about interrogations and polygraphs. All this stuff has been done. All of it has been.
Wait till we get into this about the polygraph.
Yes.
Man.
Yes.
He
This
really
is what I
lies
want
through his teeth,
you guys. Oh
about the
my
polygraph.
God. Listen to this.
Here we go.
That was one of the questions that I had up next was, have you both taken a polygraph test?
Listen to this.
The results are passed.
Boom.
Chris, can I ask something? Because I know that people's.
What'd I tell you? Chris said, can you tell us about the polygraph? The results are passed. You lying sack of Proudfoot. Passed. That's all he said. Passed. So easily. Yes. Yes, Elafide. Exactly. The results are passed.
I was going to ask it afterwards.
The results are passed. Just so dismissive, like try to cover his little tracks there, huh? Like, okay, on to the next question. Yes, the channel, Miss CRN, is Duchess. Duchess is who did this interview. It's a good interview too. And this was pretty early on, like maybe a week or 10 days in. Probably a little over 10 days in, I think.
The event that happened, was that toward you or by you?
It was toward me.
Okay.
So to give you, I'll go ahead and paint that story very crystal clear. I was holding my daughter in my left arm. Okay, mind you, she was a little baby. She was up against my chest, cuddled up next to my cheek and my shoulder. My ex-wife accused me of having an affair with a coworker, who was not much into men. I'll let you go that direction wherever you want to go. Just wasn't into men. And that coworker was my boss at the time. And she didn't like, and I was like, "You're kidding me, right?" And I showed it to her. She's very hot-headed. She didn't like the answer. Swore up and down I was. And she connected and slapped me across the left-hand side of my face.
Again, if you're tracking here, he's talking about the Nina situation where Nina slaps him and then he gets a protective order, and then it actually steals baby Faith from his wife. And baby Faith is probably, I don't know, 6 weeks old at this point. It's something, I mean, she's very young at this point. It's horrific.
Where I was holding my daughter. If you can do that while a man is holding a child, or a woman is holding a child for that matter, if you can slap that person while they're holding a child, that says something about you.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to be in that situation. I wouldn't expect any person to be in a situation of that. So I had to do what I had to do based on being a parent, which was best for my child.
Right. I just knew that in the future that people would be online saying there was an incident and nobody asked what the incident was. You said the results.
I'm sure they're
the
going
results
to spin it.
Yeah. The results of the polygraph was that you passed. Is that both of you passed, or can you say?
Yes.
Okay.
Boom.
I think that was my question.
Looky there. Can you say that both of you passed? Yes. Boom. Shall we play that again? You lie.
I don't know, 6 weeks old at this point. It's something, I mean, she's very young at this point. It's horrific.
Here we go.
Where I was holding my daughter. If you can do that while a man is holding a child, or a woman is holding a child for that matter, if you can slap that person while they're holding that child, that says something about you.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to be in that situation. I wouldn't expect any person to be in a situation of that. So I had to do what I had to do based on being a parent, which was best for my child.
Right. I just knew that in the future that people would be online saying there was an incident and nobody asked what the incident was. You said the results.
I'm sure they're
The
going to
results are,
spin it.
yeah. The results of the polygraph was that you passed. Is that both of you passed, or can you say?
Yes.
Okay. I think that was my question.
What do you think about that? Yes, is what he said. His mom streamed court live to embarrass Nina. Yes, that is yes. JR girl, absolutely. Yes. Unbelievable. Just wow. Oh, hold on.
Oh, I'm not a mod over there.
I got it. I took care of it. I got it.
I just got something and
Is it what you just sent me?
I sent you an invite link. I'm gonna send you just some simple screenshots so you can get an overview, because you'll have to
Says use
scroll
the
up.
messenger app to your mobile device to join this
I
chat.
just sent you some screenshots.
Okay. I might show those here in just a second.
Apparently, word on the street, it's not confirmed, but this is under the mysterious search Facebook group, kind of like what we have for Elijah.
Okay. I have to look.
That
What-
they discovered 2 other bodies while searching. And also, Seth has stopped, his group has stopped taking any volunteers to assist with searching due to their safety.
Really?
That's come out within the past hour.
Damn.
Yes, I do have a channel of my own. I haven't gone live since the end of September, though. Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Hold on, I'll fix it. 1 second. I'll do it where you have to. Subscriber for
You want to grab my link, Angela? Here's me.
30 minutes.
You did.
There we go. I put it on. You have to be a subscriber for 30 minutes.
So apparently they found 2 bodies on the search as well.
Right. That's allegedly.
Allegedly. Not confirmation. But I'll be keeping a close eye on that.
Repeat about no more volunteers. Someone wants to know.
It's also in the chat in the group. The mysterious. He is not found. Would have known that. They found Seth and Brandon have paused getting extra volunteers or any new volunteers because of safety factor. Yeah. I would have known if Dylan was found.
Yeah. Yes, Nate Eaton live. Hold on, I'll check. If
Is
if
he?
it's a
I
troll,
got him.
if
It
it's
would
a
be
troll, I'm
Idaho
blocking
4.
you.
I'll look right now. He's not live.
No, he's not. Block them. You're banned. Dylan was not found. It's just a troll, y'all. They like to lie.
I think so too, Rebecca. I have a good idea as well.
What is it? I have
Oh.
food. Fuzzy homes locally for Seth. Mm-hmm.
He just
Alright,
posted it. Where?
he didn't post it.
I
I
don't-
just checked.
No, on
Liar,
Twitter.
liar, pants on fire. There's
That
a
was good
big
timing.
fat whopper for everybody.
know.
Do I have to roll that back a little? He's such a liar.
And that was up. I see a couple people asking that specifically. Did you take a polygraph test specifically? Chloe and Mo wanted to know specifically.
It's
Could you
true?
elaborate? Did you take one and also pass?
I don't see it on. Did he put it on Twitter? Seth in here?
I'm checking Twitter right now. My phone's off. Otherwise, everybody would be calling me.
I don't see it on YouTube.
Nick Eaton.
I see 22 hours ago.
Nate
East
Eaton.
Idaho News.
Are you looking on Twitter?
No.
Here.
Video.
Holy shit. Justin, here you go.
Okay. Shut the front door. Okay, I need to unblock them. Sorry.
I've been trying to unblock on my end. Oh, thank you, Microdot. I can be a pain in the arse.
They found him. Thank the Lord. No, I'm not saying Nate lied. I'm saying someone who was just in here. Oh. Hey,
Should I
Seth.
click in and see what it says? Seth
Yeah.
here?
Yeah.
Do you want the article?
Yeah, they said he's live if you want to play it.
I don't see the live. I just see. Let's see.
I'm the arse. I'm so glad that they found Dylan Rounds.
Wow.
How long has it been now?
Moment. All right, go ahead and pop up.
Oh, sorry.
Dylan Rounds.
We make
I'm
it bigger.
Eaton with EastIdahoNews.com. We have some breaking news to bring you right now. The body of Dylan Rounds has been found. Dylan Rounds, his remains have been found in the remote
Praise the
area
Lord.
of Lewiston, Utah. Dylan is the young 19-year-old who vanished over Memorial Day weekend back in 2022. He was a farmer. He moved to the desert town of Lewiston, Utah, which is in northern Utah, kind of near the Nevada border, when he vanished. And his family tells me that this morning His remains were found near or in Lucin in a remote area. That's all the information that we have at the moment from his family. Of course, Rounds had been missing since May of 2022. The 19-year-old
Thank the
spoke with his
Lord.
mother on the phone right before he vanished, and his family has spent the past 2 years searching for answers. His mother, Candace Cooley, tells me that as part of a plea agreement with James Brenner, the man accused of killing Dylan, Brenner led the investigators out to the site where the remains were on
Wow.
Tuesday morning, which would be
I've been wanting her to do that.
April 9th, in case you're just tuning in, or you're watching on another day. They got there,
Proud,
they
meet me my
found those
phone.
remains, and they have been recovered. Now, Brenner is charged with aggravated murder and abuse or desecration of a human body in connection to Rounds' death. Let me show you just how remote this area is.
There's his
Where
camper.
Dylan
There's the
was
truck.
Oh, yeah.
found. That was
It
his
was very
camper.
hard to watch
That
on
was
Google
his
Earth.
truck, and you can see there's not much around this area. It really was a desolate area.
Where did they find
James
him?
Brenner, this is the man who is facing those charges.
My-
Evil.
You know what?
Evil.
He
Let me
again,
let me
must have
see if I
said
can
something
get
to
Ty on the
investigators or
phone.
cooperated or
If my-
something. We
if
don't
I
have
can
all
make
of
a
the
call.
details
Hold
at
on.
this point, but they do have the remains because of where James Brenner led them. This is a spot where James Brenner had his camper. He lived near Dylan Rounds out there. Both of them were in separate campers. And when Dylan's family went out to begin looking for him in late May of 2022, they found his boots right there behind that mound of dirt, which was some distance off. And there was also a shed right by James Brenner's camper. This is what that shed looked like. And within a few days of Dylan disappearing, James Brenner cleaned that shed to the point of how it looks now. You know, it doesn't look very clean, maybe to some of us, but he did remove bags out of that shed, according to Dylan's family, and he did take those to an undisclosed location. And so all of this would likely have come into play if there was a trial. It still could, as far as evidence. But as I mentioned, according to Dylan's family, as part of some sort of plea deal, Brenner took the authorities to the area where Dylan's body was, and they were able to find it. I spoke with Dylan's family. They, of course, are a lot of emotions tonight. This has been such a mystery for 2 years now.
I'm
But
going to share
Candace did
something
ask
else
me
next.
to convey, we thank everyone for their support and love. We
I
are
put
grateful
something
we
in the
now
back
have
chat,
Dylan's
a phone
body and
number.
can bring him
I can't make a
home
call.
as we continue our fight for justice. And unclear when Mr. Brenner will appear in court again. There was a hearing scheduled for this month, but at last check that was delayed. However, now with the recovery of Dylan's body, it could be had sooner rather than later. I want to show you on a map just where this place is, because it's desolate. And when I say this place, I don't mean where Dylan's remains were actually found, other than it was in the Lucin area, but that's a very large area. But this is where Lucin is. If you pull out here, you can see the Nevada-Utah border right here on the left of your screen. And then over here is Montello, Nevada. Dylan went back and forth between Montello and Lucin quite a bit. This was another, if you want to say big town, it's not real big, but the closest, nearest town to where Lucin is. So he went back and forth between these two places. And in the early stages of the investigation, there was a lot of focus on Montello, and then it seemed to shift into Lucin. I don't even know if there's a population count for Lucin, but they do have an airport, as you can see. If we zoom out quite a bit more, this will give you a reference as far as where this is located. So over here is Tremont in Utah, Brigham City, Malad is here, Lava Hot Springs, Blackfoot, Shelley. So it's right over here. And it's quite a distance if you were to fly from Idaho Falls, if you were to drive from Idaho Falls down to Lucin. But this is where his body was found, and this
Praise
is
the Lord.
where family
Where was
are breathing a sigh of relief.
He was
now
in
that
Lucin.
his remains have been found. So there still are a lot of questions. There still are some court stuff to obviously get worked out, to get solved, to get taken care of.
Try calling that
This has
number.
been a
if you
case
can.
we've covered extensively on East Idaho News since Dylan vanished. In fact, here was a picture just at CrimeCon last year. They put up a "Have you seen me" poster with all of these nice messages around them. Keep fighting. Love how his parents represent him. We will find you, Dylan. Hold on to hope. And then there's these wonderful photos that his mother has shared with
Brenner
us,
led him to
and
the
on
body.
publicly on social media. There's little Dylan as a young boy feeding pigs. There he is on a tractor. He loved farming, was big into farming, big into the outdoors, fishing. There he is.
For what? Why did they do this? Why?
Looks like he might be. And here he is on a
It was
tractor,
Brenner. He had
which,
quite the
again,
temper.
he loved to farm, and that's what took him out to that location.
Farming
so
was
they could
his
begin
life.
Farming. He was raised in Eastern Idaho. His father is still in Eastern Idaho, Justin Rounds. And tonight, again, they have the answer they've been waiting for. They have recovered
Nate
Dylan
is awesome.
Rounds' body. We will continue to follow this story and bring you the latest developments. We have reached out to the
Yes,
Box Elder
Mohawk
County
Mom.
Sheriff's Office to see if they have any comment. What usually happens in these types of cases is they cannot confirm right away 100%. Like,
I'm going to show y'all something in a minute.
ID, they'll send the body away for identification, and then it takes a day or two to get 100% confirmation. So that might be the case in this particular case, but we will just have to wait and see what they have to say. But we will keep you updated. And tonight, our thoughts, our prayers go out to Dylan and his family. Such a big piece of the puzzle that's finally, hopefully, closed in, and bringing them a little bit of a closure, or at least some answers to the questions they have had for so long.
Yes, they found Dylan Rounds. Okay. I want to show y'all this. This is from the Box Elder County Sheriff's Office 20 minutes ago, press release on April. Hold on. Okay, I'll read it for you. On April 9th, 2024, skeletal remains presumed to belong to Dylan Rounds were discovered in the remote western Box Elder County area of Lucin. The FBI assisted the Box County Elder Sheriff's Office by processing the area for evidence and recovering the remains. The remains are in possession of the Utah Office of Medical Examiner for confirmation of identity. As mentioned in the press release in March 2023, James Brenner was formally charged with aggravated unaliving and abuse of desecration of human body for the unaliving of Dylan Rounds and the disposal of his body. Our hearts go out to the family of Dylan Rounds. We offer our sincerest condolences for the loss of their family. We understand that the pain of their loss is immeasurable, and we want to express our deepest sympathies to them. It is our hope that we can find peace moving. It is our hope that they can find peace moving forward. We would like to express our gratitude to our deputies, detectives, volunteers, and the Box Elder County employees who have worked tirelessly investigating and assisting in the many search efforts during the past 23 months. We highly appreciate the diligent efforts of unwavering dedication and commitment, and we extend our genuine thanks to them for their hard work. We are grateful to everyone who assisted and supported the investigation and our search efforts on this exponentially challenging case. The dedication and collaboration of these involved have been absolutely remarkable, and the invaluable aid providing to the Box County Elder Sheriff's Office have been instrumental in success of this investigation. No additional information can be released at this time so as not to compromise the ongoing legal proceedings. That was dropped 23 minutes ago. So there's that. Dylan Rounds has been found. Breaking news. Now we have to find Sebastian, Summer,
Oh my goodness.
Michael Vaughn.
I didn't even see your comment on that.
What's that? What are you playing?
Oh, that's not supposed to be.
Okay. Wasn't sure what that was. His mother can rest.
Man.
I don't know if Seth is still here or not. Seth, we are praying for you, brother.
Yeah, he's in chat.
Okay. Okay, let's go back to this.
Yeah, he's in Justin for All.
Okay, he's in that chat. Okay.
If there's anything we can do for you, Seth, please let us know.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I've got a question, and a lot of people have been asking, Chris, is there any reason why you don't want Sebastian around your daughter?
So I'm going to make this real crystal clear for everybody. There's some things that can be spoke of, and there's some things that will not be spoke of. And personal issues inside my family are strictly that. They have nothing,
He's going to say no bearing
on this investigation. The cops are well aware of everything involving specifics. And that's quite honestly, I know this is going to sound snarky and rude, but it's really nobody's business as to that because there's no bearing on this case.
Understood.
That's maybe
Okay.
And for the record, I will say this: all three parents have an agreement, and we all understand this. That can be said.
Got it.
Well, he just lied in this interview and said that he passed the lie detector test. There's no way he passed the lie detector test. He hasn't taken one. You can't pass something you don't take. I wonder who or how the glasses were confirmed not to be Sebastian's. I'm sure that they did testing on it, but a visual aid also.
Okay. And someone wanted to ask, Angela said, I would like for Chris to clarify what he meant when he said he hasn't seen Sebastian since early February.
Now
Are you
listen
able
to
to
this.
clarify? And if you're not, just state that.
So I cannot give certain details with this investigation, and that's kind of one of those things.
Okay.
I wish I could eventually down the road. I'm sure that will allow to come out.
Why can't you tell them whenever you were home before Sebastian went missing? That doesn't make any sense at all. None. None at all. I'm sure it'll come out later on. Well, he's trying to say that TBI won't let him say. There's nothing.
Okay.
But as it stands right now, the answer that I've given is early February was the last time that I saw Sebastian. And no, I was not home when all of this took place. I actually got back to Nashville. I believe it was later in the afternoon, but I was on the phone with the police for the majority of that day. And
Later that afternoon, I think he got home at 1 o'clock or something like that, he says. Now, why did it take him so long to get home? You couldn't have stopped me. You couldn't have stopped me. Said he had to wait for. Yes, thank you, Spirit Seeker.
until I physically got here.
A question that I've seen asked, so I wrote it down to ask you. Why was the sheriff's office called and not 911?
So I don't. Our house is not designated for city limits. which jurisdictions for police are inside city limits. The sheriff's department is what governs our area because we're outside of that. So if you call 911 and you're outside of those areas, it goes to a central point, but then they will turn around and ask your location, and then they redirect you to another dispatcher. If you know who the dispatcher, who your law enforcement agency is that governs your area, I just call them straight. There's no.
Why do it on a three-way?
Can we can we ask Seth if you're available,
I dropped him a link if he wants to come up. But...
or even comment in chat if the lockdown is a credible lockdown?
What? Sorry.
Where there's been words of the town being on lockdown. And when they privated their Facebook, remember?
Oh yeah. Seth, Chris supposedly
And Katie.
and Katie privated their Facebook just a little bit ago.
And something's going on within Hendersonville with the LE. We just want to vet it. I see you, girl.
About 3 hours, I see you.
You know, the last weekend I butt dialed her on Facebook.
Oh, I bet Dollar all the time. I doubt he was at work already. Oh, I don't believe he was at work at that time. News Channel 5 has confirmed it's a criminal investigation. What do you mean, Gina? To which case, please?
News 5 out of Savannah.
We are listening to the scanner and didn't hear anything. I don't think there's
Or
anything going
Nashville,
on.
I mean. Well, in situations like this, they'll put it on a separate line.
That's possible.
Let me look at this.
5 Nashville.
Yeah, Nashville.
News Channel 5 Nashville. Clarksville double homicide leaves family in grief. I don't see anything. Local news. No. Do you see anything?
Mm-mm. Let me
see.
I found them finally.
Yeah, they haven't posted anything for like 7 days on Sebastian that I see. Thank you, Linda Lou. Said live, but isn't. Yeah, there's not. There's not. Chris on the interview room said it was a criminal investigation. Said The elevator music is going to be playing.
Oh,
Ramona, read my post.
okay. So I seen somebody. It was on the Find Sebastian groups on Facebook.
Okay, nothing. I know nothing yet. Huge police presence in Israel.
You see that?
Mount police scanner just went silent.
Yeah, because I've been on it.
Ramona.
Welcome to our study sessions. Lives turn study.
Music City Mom told you she was headed there to see. She said she was 5 to 7 minutes away, been a lot longer. And I don't see her in chat. Hope she's okay. Has anyone seen her back?
If we can do anything, Seth, to help her. If there's any way, if there's rumors or anything, if we can help with that, debunk anything, I know how this can go crazy.
Absolutely. Yes, Sumner County, Tennessee. Road is shut down at end of town. It says Sebastian
Now
is now
Amber Alert.
National Amber Alert trending story. Thank you, September. I just saw Music City Mom. What did Music City Mom say? My record is skipping. Yeah, he's finally trending. Oh, that's good. I was only sorry I don't have it. God, I know. Let's see what the Facebook groups are saying.
I'm checking it out. Okay, I found it.
Rogers from Sumner County. Today, the search continues. So
When was this?
Couldn't be any clearer.
When was this?
This is Chris and
Rogers from Sumner County.
Chris and Josh. Let me share. Send a messenger.
What do you mean? What do you mean, Chris and Josh? What about it?
It's a clip from his live, one of his lives. Josh's. It's in chat. Ellie is at Sebastian's home. Yes, we see that. Okay, so you see.
Sumner County.
Hold on.
That's blurry.
Yeah.
That was a few weeks ago. Channel 5 isn't reporting nothing. No,
No.
Jen. No, Jen.
From Sumner County. Search continues. So we know it's now a criminal investigation.
Oh, that's old.
Right.
Yes, Dylan Rounds was found.
Yes.
I don't think there's anything. going on.
Actually, I think if you give him a call and just let him know exactly what I wrote, he might be up to talk.
Okay, hold on. Here we go. What is this? Anyone know what's happening? Law enforcement is at the Proudfoot home right now. This has turned into a criminal case. Hashtag Sebastian Rogers. Are the police at the Proudfoot's house right now? Question mark. The police scanner has about 71 listeners and nothing being said right now. Need to see it to believe it. Exactly. Law enforcement is at the Proudfoot home.
There's another poster that says cops and Ellie are all over Hendersonville right now.
Just wanted to put out there that I don't think it has been mentioned or looked at. Channel 5 stated this is now a criminal investigation. Let me look on Facebook, Channel 5, then. I mean, do people just lie? What am I mean, I don't understand because I don't see it there either. Let me check X.
I don't see anything. Yes, sunflowers for Dylan. That was his favorite.
Hold on a minute. I know what to do.
Deception Detective did another part 2.
No, Nick hasn't posted anything. Excuse the language, but somehow I don't think this sign of the times is going to help. Sinless. Yeah, I don't see it.
Thank you for the sunflowers.
YouTube was quiet. My guess is it's interesting how they shut it off though. And the police are supposed to be let's see if there's any more groups. The count on the listeners in Hendersonville and something is pretty high right now. Someone put in the group. YouTubers are reporting on it. Supposedly police at Proudfoot's house right now. Someone's
We're trying to
arrived
vet
and
that.
We're trying to vet that. So could you please put that?
tuck that away for now.
See, that's how information gets. So there's audio confirming that Sebastian was hiding under our neighbors. "24 seconds go." Huh.
Hold on. Yes, the WSMV Nashville said the LE was there in an update hours ago.
Facebook shutdown may be just because of the red.
threats. I think they're the ones doing the threat. But that's my opinion, not Justin's.
WSMV?
Yeah, that's what Allie wrote in chat.
Let's see what they got here. I don't see him. I don't know, guys.
I don't see anything either.
I'm gonna jump off. It's been 3 hours and 16 minutes. I'm exhausted. I've been up since 5 o'clock. I went to bed at 1 a.m. Kirby says Channel 5. We looked on Channel 5. Became National Amber Alert. Okay. Here, I'll show this real quick. Thank you so much, September. Disappearance of Sebastian Rogers among one of two National Amber Alerts. Oh, so it's Sebastian and Elijah. Yeah. Sumner County, Tennessee. The search for 15-year-old Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers has stretched into more than a month after he disappeared from his home in Hendersonville, Tennessee, with no signs of the missing teen. As the days he's been missing continue to grow, community members have been doing everything they can to keep his name and face into the spotlight, distributing flyers and even conducting their own searches. Most searches have been centered around Middle Tennessee, but Sebastian's disappearance has recently begun to capture the attention of people outside of the state, with the case going to National Amber Alerts that are still active. What?
Miss Kirby said she sent you the link.
Here we go. When was this? This was from March 4th. Oh, okay. Gotcha, Miss Kirby. I got your second email. Gotcha.
She said, wait. Hold on, Justin. Hold on.
Okay. We're waiting.
SU's capping it up too.
I'm so tired. I feel stupid.
I understand that. This is it? To play the news part? Yes, just
right here.
WS TV. That's it.
This one?
Capitol
think
reporter
so.
Chris O'Brien.
This is a News 2
News alert that chaos in the state capitol this afternoon. The Senate gallery cleared.
But that would not be it. I'm looking what these people are sending me. Jesus, Mary and Josephine.
I was just thinking I should open my other Google account where my email is.
837.
Gatebuster, you. Hey, I'm breaking Justin's gate for y'all.
I know
Just
Dylan.
trying to put the gate up. Yes. Did you try Google Earth? The traffic along the road by the school is slowed and completely stopped one way in front of the fire department by Proudfoot subdivision. Joe Bickers. Are you a local, Joe? Or have any source for that?
I'm not believing anything until I have a source or something, because no offense. From March 4th, yes. Yeah, it's old. You want me to play the thing for March 4th? Because that, Miss Kirby, I'm pretty sure that video is from... Let me look at this video.
Man, I can't wait until I can talk to Ty. He searched every day for him. You meant Dylan.
Okay. I don't know if this is new or not. I haven't seen it yet, so...
A significant shift in the case of Sebastian Rogers, the missing autistic 15-year-old. It's a case we have followed since he disappeared.
We care what happens next,
Waste
just
maps.
like you. And now 1 week after Sebastian vanished from his Sumner County home, authorities are scaling back the search effort, and they are now calling it an investigation.
Nick Barra shares the latest details, and we also hear for the first time publicly today from the missing teen's mother and stepfather.
The original thinking was that Sebastian Rogers left home on his own, but the fact that he disappeared without a trace now has authorities looking into the very real possibility of foul play. Consider 7 days of intense searching from the ground and air. Hundreds of officers and citizens, bloodhounds, and nothing. No security video of the teen and no trace of Sebastian.
We're used to producing, and this is one of those cases that we haven't been able to produce yet.
No one is giving up. Sebastian could still be alive somewhere, alone, hurt, lost, or trapped. The search effort will continue, but
I've not seen this.
What exactly does that mean?
Maybe I have.
Sources close to the case confirm authorities are now considering
Yeah, I've seen
foul
this.
play,
This is
and
old.
that this missing teen case could become a criminal investigation. Sebastian's mother and stepfather broke their silence, talking about how he disappeared from their home overnight a week ago Sunday. The two spoke on a YouTube podcast called Missing Tennessee with Duchess.
And
Yeah, this is
when
old.
I went to wake him up for school, he wasn't
This
here.
is old, but I'll play
Between
it.
the hours of 12 and 6, he has basically vanished. Walked out of the house, the door was locked, and gone.
He didn't take a phone. None of his shoes are missing.
Authorities have named no suspects and say that to date, the parents have fully cooperated with the investigation. Detectives now will re-interview and vet everyone that had contact with Sebastian looking for any inconsistencies. And they are asking the public to provide any Ring camera videos, not
This is the one Josh was showing. This is
just from Sunday
oh,
night when they believe he disappeared, but of anything suspicious of much earlier.
but you know, still, it's a good point. I mean, this is old, but even back then, they were saying, yes, guys, I have covered that Dylan Rounds has been found. Thank you. But you know, this is old, but I mean, back then they were saying foul play.
In the day. Nick Barris, News Channel 5.
We're going to stay on this one.
But remember, foul play can be a number of different things, right? Foul play can be mean, you know, someone took him out, and two chatters going there now to look.
Yeah, I see that there's neighbors headed there. I'm thinking, what's that map?
Well, Missy, hold on,
ways-
Missy D. I mean, if you can't afford to be here for 2 hours, then bye. There you go.
What's that map app?
We don't need your opinion on that, so kick rocks.
Yeah, I'm looking up Waze apps.
I know reality wins. I'm going to stay here until she checks it, because I would feel bad if I ended the live. Thank you, Jessica. Thank you so much, my dear. SS said they are all suspects until Sebastian is found. Google Maps Live. It's all over TikTok right now. The proud. Let's check it. Let me check. I'm looking, but hold on. Let me call one of my sources. 1 second, okay?
Okay.
I need to mute the phone.
Thank you, Jessica.
Thank you, my love. I appreciate you.
Justin deserves all the love. Known him for years, and he's an amazing soul. Do I need to do that? Okay.
Yeah, the results
There are
are liar. Yeah, exactly. Kathy, we have people going there right now to see. I just messaged one of my sources. Thank you, Ash. Love you too, honey. I'm not leaving right now. I'm not. I'm waiting for a couple of my sources to get back with me. And then we got someone going there right now. Okay, reality. Thank
There
you.
is an orange line on Long Howell Pike, but I don't know what that means on Google Maps. Going into their area. But typically when there's something going on, the scanners will go extremely quiet. What does that mean? Can I click on it? Will it say what kind of alert?
It's honestly more likely that it's not anything than it is, but they could be there. I mean, construction or slow traffic.
Right.
Yes. I know Dylan was found. Thank you. Well, I do know that their Facebook's not private. Okay, how can this?
Okay, people are citing us and TikTok.
Don't cite us.
We're trying to vet it.
We're trying to find out. Jesus. Do not cite us.
I'm going to
People.
reply in the chat.
Someone the other day put in another creator's chat or something like that. I forget what it was, but ICU, she nipped it in the butt, but it was just something so ridiculous that they said that I had, like, I don't even remember what it was. And I'm just like, oh, Jesus, are you kidding me?
The crap people come up with is. It spreads like wildfire, though. It really does.
Yes. I'm not going to tell you something I don't know. Exactly. We are trying to find, I mean, that's exactly what we have. Someone going there right now. We have someone. I've contacted two of my sources, but neither one of them has gotten back with me, which is interesting. Usually one's like really quick.
The chats are blowing up.
Have they reversed something about Mary?
It's called when it gets stressful.
It's called pulling my hair
Searching.
out.
Searching. On the live.
Why did Katie dye her hair? I don't think she dyed it. Duck's butt hair.
I got some right outside my door. Well, it's dark now. Okay.
Her hair looked wet.
Ah, there's Bullhorn Betty. Have you heard anything?
Lifter gloss with hyaluronic acid.
I've got.
I think it's Maybelline.
I got this one. Son
What's
of a
that?
gun.
I can't see it.
It's upside down.
Someone asked.
Lip fusions
Mm.
and lip fusion infatuation. As I throw everything off my desk at the same time. Let's see if there's anything else.
Oh, here's something from Never mind. That's the same thing we just read. I don't think it's anything.
Hey, you're gonna have to call me back again because I can't call out. My phone's off. Who just called me? Try call me again, please.
Who?
Bullhorn Betty. I can only get incoming calls. Can't call out. Yes, do not cite this channel.
Yes, if you're in a group, don't cite this channel saying we're saying something because we have not said anything. We're trying to find something out to see if it's true or not. Um, do you want a membership link, my dear? Is that what you mean? Mods can drop a membership link. I have not heard from Trev. He's not answering either. I just text him. I wish you could find WSMV on here that was updated 7 hours ago. I read the transcript. What did it say, Allie? Let me text Josh. I don't think he'll know. Oh, thank you so much, my dear. Sorry, I'm trying to get a hold of these people. Thank you, Jessica. Thank you, Jody. Thank you so much for becoming a member. Appreciate it. Welcome to the family. You are now a Pearl. Anything going on? Okay.
Okay, I think Lisa's asking for your number to call in.
Sure. Is she the one that went down?
That's
That
what
went
I
there?
think so.
Okay, Lisa, if you are the one that went down there, you can call here at the bottom of the screen. Okay, Trevor just got back. He's checking as well. Okay, yeah, Go ahead and call 307-228-4906, my dear. Thank you so much. Thank you, Proud Mimi. Thank you, my
I
dear.
love you, Proud Mimi. She's one of my favorites.
She's a sweetheart.
Favorites.
She is a sweetheart.
So that was me that just did a
What'd I
selfie in
do?
the group chat.
In the group chat. How do you do a selfie in the group chat?
I took a picture and did a selfie and said, yes, we're on live trying to vet it. Don't quote us.
Got ya. Is it true they're selling their house?
Now, when Bullhorn just called me, she goes, if that is like the scenarios, if there was that, then that could be. You are one of my favorites. Oh boy. A lot of my favorites are in chat right now.
Is this Lisa?
Hey, Justin. Hey, everybody. How
Hey,
are y'all?
good. How are you, dear?
I'm good. I am almost at the drive to turn into their neighborhood. But I got to be honest with you. I'm not seeing a lot happening down here.
Okay.
All right. Hang on. Willow Bend. That's not it. The next one. Yeah. I mean, there's no law enforcement or anything. Of course, I'm not in the subdivision. I'm fixing to turn right now.
Thank you for doing this.
Thank you so much for doing that, because it puts a lot of, clears a lot of BS
Yeah,
up.
absolutely. Look, I've lived throughout my life. This, I mean, it's all right, I'm turning down the road, and I actually turned down the wrong road. Hang on, wrong road. One more over. All right. Wrong cul-de-sac here. Yeah, but I don't see like any cops or anything down here, so I'd be like super surprised if something was happening. I go up one more street.
Thousands of people are saying thank you right now.
Oh, no problem. Look, this just it breaks my heart. I mean, I have very strong feelings on what I think happened, as I'm sure the rest of us do too.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm on the road, and the house is absolutely black.
Okay.
There are no lights on. It actually looks deserted. Yeah, nothing, not a thing.
Yeah.
Not a single thing. Yeah. So.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for clearing that up. And
no problem. Oh, you know what?
What?
You know what?
What?
Hang on, back her up. Her van is still here. Her work van. There's actually, I'll be damned. They have a sign in their front yard.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Sebastian, if you come home, here's your sign.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, nobody's inside.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, there's and they kept saying, I heard him say too on interviews, they didn't have any outside lights. There's like 2 floodlights right over their garage doors out here. So, he was full of shit on that too.
Yeah.
As everything else he says, I swear to God, his day's coming. Anywho, yeah, nothing, absolutely nothing going on down here, guys.
Awesome. Well, thank you for putting that to bed.
No problem. No problem. And, prayers, guys, prayers. That's all we can do at this point, It really is.
Yes. Amen.
All right. Everybody have a fantastic rest of the evening.
Thank you, my dear. Appreciate it.
You're welcome, hon. All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Lisa, again for doing that. Please put that in the chat. We put those in all of the the rooms that we had someone go down and physically went on the road and there is nothing. Yeah.
Thank you, Lisa.
Yes. Well, it's nope, the lights are not on. Everything is dark and deserted. Yes. I appreciate people like her who wants to actually find the answers and figure something out, right?
That's how we vet stuff.
That's how you vet stuff, yeah. Was not doing it. Shit. Oh. I'm telling my sources.
Making sure we're not missing any other update. I can't talk.
What is it?
Ah.
All right, guys. You can send me anything you want as long as you text me at this 307 number. Guys, I am done for tonight. I am so tired.
Yes.
I love each and every single one of yous. Thank you, proud me. I am getting off. I love you all. Appreciate you all from the bottom of my little heart. Thank you to the one and only Guidance.
No, thank you.
Good pass for my sister, actually. So, all right, honeys. Good night, everyone. God bless.
Good night.
you. Justice for Sebastian Rogers, Michael Monkey Vaughn, Summer Wells, Kyron
Elijah
Corbett,
View,
Elijah Vu,
Oakley Carlson.
all these babies. All of these babies. I will see y'all in the morning sometimes, probably. I have to do like a little bit of work in the morning. I should get off early, so. All right. Love, loves. Good night. God bless. Merry Christmas.